McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lights? All-Star Construction. Behind the plate. Hydro vacuum, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep.
A logo shot!
Since 2009.
28-footer! Ties it at 108!
And more. Shaping and building
5-on-4.
all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion.
Carroll's going to work it out. Carrier ahead.
The
Eastern Conference Final for the first time.
Two offices in Edmonton.
Walks it up. What a home run.
Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Taking a sidecar.
Conference Final.
With mail-in rebates of up to $100 off over-the-line tires and $50 off $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. If you're tired of slow, unreliable internet connections like I am, check out Starlink. It's fast, reliable, even in bad weather, and even works for 4K streaming for movie nights, online gaming, and more. Growing up on the farm in the sticks of central Alberta, we tried everything to get reliable internet, but we're always left with buffering video and half-loaded websites. There's nothing worse than losing your connection while streaming the big game. I'm getting mine set up soon and can't wait. If you're ready for better internet, order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-800-GO-STARLINK.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Nisku Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Here's a fly ball, center field. It's hit well. Bolte is back near the wall. It's gone! Bubble! What a finish! Zach Neto says goodnight to the A's. And JT Ginn walks it off. What a home run!
On Sports 1440.
5-on-4. Wemby's going to pull a deep 3. Oh, my goodness. A logo shot. 28-footer. Ties it at 108.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Over the line comes Newhook. Shooting. Scores. Alex Newhook. And Montreal is going to play Carolina in the Eastern Conference Final.
Well, a tantalizing Tuesday afternoon. How are you? How was your long weekend? Hope it was great. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of PlayAlberta.ca. And it is Tuesday. Lotto Max, a cool $25 million up for grabs at PlayAlberta.ca. What a night for sports last night. Oh, my goodness. Game 7. Flyers. Canadians. That was a good game, man. Buffalo probably felt like maybe they deserved to win, but deserve schmerv. Hey, but Montreal had 2-0 lead. Buffalo tied it. They go to overtime. And Alex Newhook who has been on fire for the Montreal Canadiens, comes up as the overtime hero. And now the Canadiens will go in as an underdog to take on the Hurricanes starting Thursday night. So starting tomorrow, we got playoffs, one game every night until these series are over, and then you'll get to the Stanley Cup final. Vegas, Colorado, Montreal, Carolina. The Cale Makar injury, make no mistake, he's banged up. Now, I know he didn't skate today. Why would he? I expect him to play. But he's not 100%. And Oiler fans know it. Other teams know it. You get to the postseason, and you got one or two of your key guys not fully healthy. When it's good teams, that's the difference. That can be the big difference between winning and losing. So I'm very curious to see how the injury to Makar will impact not only his team, and it's not just him. Manson's banged up. Malinsky's banged up. So how are these guys going to handle it? Because Vegas, they're going to come out hot. They're going to be very aggressive, and they want to see kind of what's in store for them. So we'll talk about that. Evan Arroyo will join us from the Denver Gazette. Paul Sir will be by. Did you see game one of the Spurs and the Thunder? Two teams who each won 62 games this year. You don't see these type of matchups between two great teams very often. And that game had everything. Did you see the 1 3-pointer from Wemby? It was like a Steph Curry logo shot. Just inside half court, drains it. Nothing but net. Guy was a force. Went to double overtime. That's game one. So hopefully we got 6 more games like that. A 7-game series between these two teams would be unreal. Absolutely unreal. So we'll talk to Paul Sir about that series. And also, oh my goodness, it's game 7, home floor, and you get absolutely waxed. What happened to the Detroit Pistons? That's got to be one of the worst game 7 losses. I should look it up, man. Game 7 losses all time in the NBA. Home court team just gets obliterated. That was brutal for them. So now you've got the Cavs and the Knicks. I like the Knicks in that series. You can't count out the Cavs. Gutsy for them to finally get a win on the road in game 7. But I don't know, man. I like the Knicks there. I still think whoever wins out of the Spurs and Thunder is going to win the NBA championship. But I wouldn't completely rule out the Knicks. If they can get OG Anunoby and he's healthy, they got a shot. Chris Morris, the Elks president, will join us in studio today to talk about the green and gold, new turf, some new initiatives for fans, and kind of how the organization. This is year 2 for Chris Morris as president. What did he learn in year 1? What do they hope to be better at in year 2? So he'll join us in studio for a few segments. We got Spec, DVD, Cam Tate, Dave McCarthy will be by. TR is going to join us. So we got a loaded Tuesday. Connor Halley, of course, is here. Conman, how was the long weekend?
Was really good, Jason. Yeah, I got a chance to go for a nice brunch to celebrate a late Mother's Day, and then went out to Spruce Grove yesterday. Check out the Elks with all the fans, and that was an impressive turnout by the fans of the team. I thought the organization did a really good job. Got the kids out there playing with them afterwards, and overall, a really good weekend. Now, how was yours, and did you get to the batting cages?
We did.
Yeah.
Good. Went, what's it called? Play Against Sports, I think, just on the north side there. And you know what? It was great. Like, my son plays a ton of blitzball, which for those of you who don't, it's like this little plastic ball him and his buddies play. He's kind of gotten more interested. He went to a few Jays games. And I think next year he's actually going to want to play organized baseball, but he'd never really hit I've pitched him in the yard and stuff, but nothing like this. So, but man, those pitching machines are unreal. Like, you can adjust the height, but then you can adjust. You want to put a curveball. You want so you can manipulate it so it's curving. It was wild. We had a blast. And any parent out there knows, and got a son and he's in there and he's not hitting it, so he's starting to get rattled. I'm like, buddy, serenity now. Like, you're not just going to come in here and start hitting bombs right off the get-go. But he got better, and his best hit was near the end. He crushed one, so it's a good way to end. But it was a lot of fun. Like, we're going to go back for sure. I loved it. You have your own lane. You can control, how many balls you want, as often as you want. Obviously, you got to rest. And I just really like the machine. And so you can play with the velocity changes. Like I went in there after a bit and, so I was trying to, they have it at like a high school, like university at around, 70 to 80 miles an hour. Dude. Like even that, I'm like, how do people hit 100 mile an hour? Like I know that they're professionals, but God, it was, and I'm just trying to get a piece of it. It got better. It was a lot of fun. So I quite enjoyed it. So it was a great day, great hour. And, probably get him some batting gloves next time. But hey, you got to toughen up a little bit. So had a lot of fun with that. Went biking, got together some buddies who are Habs fans. My son's kind of a Cole Caulfield fan. So we watched the Saturday game all together with kids. Life's changing. So it's good times. It's a fun weekend. But man, Monday night was unreal. Like game 7 and then right over to that Thunder Spurs game. Like, it was awesome. Like I was recording it. So going back and forth, but got into the double OT. That was a spectacular game. So now here's some news, Oiler fans. This just in from the NHL Coaches Association. They put out this statement. The NHLCA has been closely monitoring the situation involving Bruce Cassidy. While we respect the league's rule and processes, it is our position that coaches who remain under contract but are no longer working for their club should not be prevented from pursuing other employment opportunities. It would be unprecedented at the head coaching level should multiple teams be denied permission to speak with Bruce Cassidy. The situation is still unfolding, but our priority is to protect the interests of our members in this type of circumstance. So and that doesn't surprise me, Cons, right? Like I reached out to a few teams and someone's like, well, I'm like, have you heard of a situation like this? And they're like, well, none that have gone public so none that I'm aware of. Now we know that some assistant coaches, who are under contract working for the team who weren't being given an opportunity to leave but they weren't fired. They were on the team. That I understand. I really do. You're like, well, we hired you. We don't have to do it. But once you've fired someone, yes, I get you're paying them. But that's not really in the print. The contract doesn't state that we're going to pay you to do nothing. That's not what it states. The contract states, here's your responsibilities. This is what we're paying you to do. And usually teams, when the coach gets relieved of his duties, not fired, because fired means that there's no longer getting paid, relieved of his duties, he still gets paid, that usually they kind of want the coach off the books and they don't stand in their way. So I'll be curious. The Oilers aren't in a rush to have to hire a head coach. It's May 19th. I would say you could hire your next coach by June 20th and it wouldn't drastically disrupt things. Vancouver now is in the market for a head coach. Toronto, LA, and Edmonton. Well, clearly out of those 4 teams, Edmonton's team is the most promising of the 4 when you look at talent-wise. But I don't think you can overlook, like right now, Edmonton's going to have to repair its image a little bit. Right? They're a coach-happy firing team. That's the reputation. That's what they got. You don't last very long in Edmonton. Right? Players, owner, they carry a lot of weight. So that's not going to turn off everybody, but we can't just deny that that's not a fact. But I still think if you interviewed 4 coaches and you got to say, okay, you can get the exact same money, same term from every team, which team would you choose? Edmonton, LA, Toronto, or Vancouver? I think most people would say, well, I think Edmonton gives me the best chance to win for today. So we'll see. It would be, you're talking, 1/8 of your league that has available coaches. You're not allowing your coach in Bruce Cassidy to interview. He can't get all the jobs, but he could get one of them. Right? So we'll see where it goes from here. But this situation, Connor Halley, will not be going away quietly.
No. And I mean, it's crazy it's gotten this far with Vegas set to take on Colorado in the Western Conference Final. Like, you're just hanging on to this guy. What's the reason other than because we can and we want to? Like, you're done with him. You deemed him not good enough to lead your franchise anymore. To me, it would think like, okay, go ahead. Now, I'm sure they know he's a good coach and maybe they don't want to see him with Edmonton. But I got to think the Edmonton Oilers aren't going to be making a hire until they get a chance to officially sit down with Bruce Cassidy. So you're just doing this because you can and you want to. And I don't think it's a good look for the organization. Not the first time.
Yeah, it's kind of how they do it. So we'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And, it becomes a great conversation about what you're legally allowed to do by the wording of the contract, but should you do it? Right? That people are going to say, well, if it's not illegal, what they're doing, and that is true. But is it the right thing to do? And I guess everybody's going to vary on how they view that. So we'll see. Like there's certain things I would hope most of us agree on what's right or wrong. Right? Don't kill someone. I think we'd all agree with that. Right? Preferably don't rape someone. We'd all agree with that. Right? Like there's certain things, but then something like if someone says, well, hey man, Vegas, they're agreeing to pay him. So it's not like Vegas is just sitting there and there's no punishment to them. Like it's a lot of money to have someone not work for you. So I understand where they say, hey, it's within our rights. You signed the contract. But I'll say this. If Bruce Cassidy does not get granted permission to interview for these jobs, I think moving forward, coaches' contracts will have some different wording added to it just to prevent it. Right? Everything's the same here. Oh, and by the way, if I get relieved of my duties, you will grant permission to any team who asks to interview me. I just put that right in there. That's simple. One line. You don't have to make it any sexier or deeper. Pretty simple, straightforward. Like grant permission. Now, that doesn't mean you get hired. You're just granting permission. So there you go. Take a quick break. We'll return. Evan Rayall joins us. Man, we got some classic stats of the day for you coming up a little bit later on. And I'm curious, Oiler fans, how good your memory is. We'll get to all that when we return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Summer in Alberta means baseball debates.
Okay, best ballpark snack. Gotta be popcorn.
Nah, it's nachos, hands down.
Nah, you're both wrong. It's mini donuts. But when it comes to beef jerky, there's no argument.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The only snack every fan agrees on. Grab some for your next ballpark outing.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Oodle Noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
To the person who spends more time prepping than grilling. Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. Our medium ground chuck burgers come in plain, cheddar, bacon, and our newest seasoning, all dressed. All you need to prepare is the grill, because your job is fire and our job is flavor. And right now, they're only $8.99 a pound. For this and more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Sale ends May 20th. Variety may vary by store.
Since the 1930s, the Dorchester name has been synonymous with chuck wagon racing in Alberta. And now, it's just as well known for golf. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course is open for the season. A challenging 18-hole course nestled in the rolling coulees of central Alberta. Stunning views, reasonably priced, and only 40 minutes from Edmonton on newly paved roads. Play the course built with pioneer spirit and family pride. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course. Book your tee time today at dorchestergolf.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes. They've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through Tuesday afternoon. Man, that's what's great about the long weekend Mondays. We're almost at hump day here. I love it. We're almost through your work day. Enjoy it. You have a night off. And then, of course, tomorrow night, NHL playoffs begin in Colorado, the Western Conference Final between the two teams that won the Stanley Cup in 2022, Colorado, and 2023, Vegas. So we will... we'll see what they got in store. Both teams come in rested. Colorado's banged up, though. Look at how many D-men they used the last series. Cale Makar is playing some games. He's clearly banged up. Malinsky, Manson, go through the list. They got a lot of guys. So we'll find out just how hurt they are as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where you can enjoy the McDonald's $5 McValue meals with options like the sausage McMuffin small meal or the McDouble small meal for only $5 plus tax. Right now, only at McDonald's, and we are going to be joined by Evan Rayewell in a second. And I don't know how closely you guys were watching that Colorado and Dallas series, but it is clear to me that Cale Makar is not healthy. He's playing, but he's banged up, right? So they've only had 4 defensemen play all 9 games. Burns, Kulak, Taves, and Makar. Malinsky's missed 2. Josh Manson's missed 4. Blackenberg's missed a few. Now, Jack Aiken is healthy. He just kind of draws in. He doesn't play very much. He's played 2 games. He's averaged 5 minutes when he gets in there. But so Makar is yet to miss a game, but he's clearly hurt. How hurt is he? Who knows? He didn't skate today, which, it's not the end of the world. I've seen lots of guys not skate and then play in games, but he's clearly laboring as we go out to Denver, Colorado. Evan Raywall joins us from the Denver Gazette. And Evan, of course, the big story is that Cale Makar didn't skate. Obviously, I expect him to play. He's yet to miss time. But do you have any inkling on what you think the injury is?
So, I mean, he hurt his shoulder on March 30th on a hit by Adam Kaleka of the Flames, who, I mean, as you know, that man's about 8'3". So when you get pushed into the boards by that guy, you're going to feel it. So I think that's where it all started. And then it's just kind of been re-aggravating. Like that hit he took from Foligno in the game 1 right away seems to have re-aggravated it. So I think that's what he's dealing with. I think it's shoulder. He also might be dealing with some lower body too, but everyone's playing hurt this time of year. I expect him to play. But yeah, I think he's pretty beat up right now.
Yeah. So because I was looking at times, he doesn't seem to have that burst, and then all of a sudden another shift will come out and boom, there's the Makar burst. So that's where, to me, you can tell a guy, he's not fully healthy. And in the playoffs, the difference sometimes in winning or losing a series against other good teams is injuries. What about Malinsky? Where's he at?
Malinsky has been full go for the last 2 practices.
Okay.
I think he's going to be good to go. Arturi Lehkonen was on the ice fully ready today. So I think really the only question mark seems to be Makar. And like I said, I think he's going to play, but all these other guys are going to play, it seems like, and the F should be, for the most part, pretty healthy.
Okay. Well, do you know what Malinsky's issue was?
I don't, because he was on the ice for morning skate ahead of, game 4 in Minnesota. And then he just was a late scratch. So I don't know. It could be something like maybe he was having some symptoms and just reported them late, and this kind of helped out that the Avs finished things off and got him some time to take a break there. But yeah, we don't know exactly what it is because he took some big hits in that Minnesota series as well.
Okay, so Malinsky and Lehkonen, you're expecting them to play in game 1 as well, right?
Yep, and Burns, who would expect him to miss a game? But yeah, all those guys I think are going to be good.
Okay. Well, that's obviously key. So now you look at this matchup, and what do you see that Vegas does differently or better than Minnesota that Colorado is going to have to counter?
I think they're just a better defending team. Like if you look at their numbers in the regular season, they were a good defending team. They just got horrible goaltending. So I think they're a better defending team, and especially, and they're kind of a mix. Jared Bednar said it. They're a mix of kind of the 2 teams the Avs have played so far in Los Angeles and Minnesota, where they can defend, but they have the high end skill like Minnesota does. So I think it's going to be more of the defending, but they're going to clog the middle. They're going to try to slow the Avs down, whereas Minnesota seemed to allow the Avs to kind of do whatever they want through the neutral zone, which is a recipe for disaster. So I think Vegas is going to kind of sort of go the route that Los Angeles went, where they kind of clog things up and then, see if they can slow them down and play some low scoring games.
Yeah. You look at Colorado, and obviously Nathan McKinnon's played great. Their depth scoring, top to bottom, he had 16 guys chip in. So they're feeling very, very good about it. What do you expect about the goaltending? Would they like to run one guy, or do you think we're just going to see them split this series anyway?
I mean, I think they would love in a perfect world to run one guy. I think it's going to be Wedgwood to start. I think he's just been more consistent, and Blackwood, even, he played 2 full games, I guess you can count it, considering when he came in and then when he got pulled in game 5. And he just looks like a goalie. He's always been a goalie who needs he needs to get into a rhythm, and he hasn't just been able to do that. So I think Wedgwood has just been a better fit. They may change if it's a bad game and they need to switch it up. They might do that, but I think it's going to be Wedgwood, and as long as he stays consistent, he doesn't have these terrible games, I think they would stick with him throughout the course of the rest of the playoffs.
Colorado's power play is going to have to be aware of the penalty kill scoring prowess of Brett Howden and Mitch Marner, because they've been killing teams shorthanded.
Yeah, and that was something they have struggled with during the regular season. I think they gave them the most shorthanded goals during the regular season when, their power play was bad enough, but when they started giving up shorthanded goals, it was even worse. So it's definitely something they're going to have to pay attention to because the power play has looked much better, basically since the Olympics, and Malcolm Kadri plays a big role in that. But they're going to have to pay attention. Yeah, you're right. Because, Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel, they have these guys that play all situations that just are going to – they're going to force the issue shorthanded. So, and I guess Carr's health plays into that too because, if he's not healthy, they're going to maybe try to expose that and pressure him a little bit more at the point.
So you look at Colorado, they had an unreal year all year long. Obviously, they had Stanley Cup aspirations. You sense like any pressure at all for them right now internally? Or are they just, hey, we've been here before, they're a pretty relaxed group?
They're a pretty relaxed group, but I think they know that there is pressure and they're fine with it. Like they said the other day that it's been cup or bust since basically Jared Bednar's second or third year here. And that, what else would you want? Like that's what you want. And they're totally okay with the pressure just because they haven't been back here since, they won the cup in 2022. They're happy to be back and this is what they want. They're having fun. I think a guy like Brent Burns kind of helps in that scenario where he's just always having fun. Mm-hmm. Whereas this group they're very serious. They're very determined, but like they're having a good time. Even Nathan McKinnon said it today. Nobody thinks of Nathan McKinnon as the guy who's going to have a lot of fun, but he said Game 5 was the most fun he's ever had playing hockey. So I think they're having a good time, but they know there's pressure, but they're okay with it. Like, and that's kind of what you want at this time of year.
Did he add why Game 5 was so fun?
No, he did not, but I think we all know why it was fun. But the first period probably was not fun, but the rest of the game was fun for them.
Okay, so the comeback more than anything else. Okay, that's very fair. Now, Jack Eichel's played great for Vegas. Mitch Marner, right? They're on separate lines. They get William Karlsson back. They got Hurdle, who hasn't done a whole bunch, but they got Nick Dowd. They got some pretty good strength down the middle in Vegas. And I know that like Minnesota, not to downplay anything Colorado did because they were very good, but without Brodin and Eriksson Ek, they clearly weren't as good as Minnesota as people expected them to be. Now, they might not have won the series, but maybe they would have pushed it to at least a 6th game if they're there. How do you rank the defense? Like when you look at Colorado's defense, now obviously Makar being healthy is a little bit of a wild card, but like Theodore, Anderson, Hannafin, after that though, it kind of drops down. Like Colorado's got to find a way to expose the defense in Vegas.
Yeah, and they were able to do that in Minnesota. Obviously, Brodin being out really, really hurt Minnesota because Jake Middleton, he was exposed horribly by the Avalanche. They were just able to do whatever they wanted when he was on the ice. And it was kind of the same way with that third pair. So if the Avalanche can do that again, that's kind of what they're going to look to do because like you mentioned, Minnesota, even without Joel Eriksson Ek, even with him, I would say they still don't have the best center depth. Like Joel Eriksson Ek's a really good player, but I wouldn't say he's a number one center on a Stanley Cup winning team. This team has Jack Eichel. Like he's a top 5 center, some people might think. So this is easily going to be the best center group the Avs have faced thus far in the playoffs. But it is going to come down to, I think, they're missing Jeremy Lazan as well, it seems like, too, is another guy that they've grown to trust in that bottom role. So it is going to be the Avs going to look to expose those bottom pairing guys, especially at home, because that's what they've been able to do. They get Nathan McKinnon out there anytime they get a chance with like an icing from the other team. So they're going to get him out there as much as they can against those guys.
Yeah, I was going to ask about at home line matching. How's Bednar been running that in the playoffs?
He is not much of a line match guy, so I think he's very much going to just do whatever he wants to do. Because I asked him about Eichel McKinnon the other day because they're going to run into each other on the ice. And he said, well, our numbers show that if they want to do that, Nate's numbers are really good against Jack Eichel. And I looked it up. I think Nate had an 83% expected goals for percentage against Jack Eichel this season when they were on the ice together. So I think the Avs are fine doing whatever they want. Like if they want to match William Karlsson against Nathan McKinnon, they'll do that. Because then the Avs are just going to turn around and put Brock Nelson against Jack Eichel. And Brock Nelson has had a really good season defensively. So they don't really match. The only time they really ever match is at the end of or they ever do anything line-wise is end of the period where Jared Bednar throws Brock Nelson out with Nathan McKinnon as well. So I think I don't think they're going to push any matchups. They're fine with whatever comes.
So really the only thing is lots of times he just likes to put McKinnon out there on the offensive zone faceoffs after an icing.
Yeah, I mean, they're not hard matching anything at home. It's just getting McKinnon as many offensive opportunities as they can.
All right. Evan, lastly, you mentioned Kadri, and obviously he's coming in. Well, can you pinpoint what he's added to jumpstart that power play?
It's strange because he's like, you put him in the Mikko Rantanen spot is what we call it here in Colorado, because that's just where he was. He's not like a one-timer guy. Like Brock Nelson wasn't a one-timer guy either, and Brock Nelson isn't a bad player. It's just that when he was there, it didn't seem to work. So I think it's just his sense of calm, his ability to corral the puck and just keep possession, I think is what Jared Bednar has continued to kind of say. And also, like, there's just a chemistry there with McKinnon that is there from when he was here 4 or 5 years ago. So they've worked some plays together. I think McKinnon has scored a couple power play goals this playoffs, just directly off feeds from Kadri, where they've worked a play down low. So I think it's just a sense of calm, because he really isn't like a dangerous shooter, especially since he was dealing with a finger injury.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's added like a big shot or anything. It's just he's kind of calmed things down, which maybe this group needed, because they were just too hectic at the start of the year, just too much pressure with how that's all everyone wanted to talk about was how bad the power play was.
Evan, who are you taking?
I've got Avs in 6. And I do think Makar plays, but just this Mark Stone injury is just weird. And if they don't have Mark Stone, that's a big deal against the Avalanche. And I just think this Avs team is just too deep. Like they just look like a team on a mission. They've looked like it all year long, and I think that's how it's going to be again this series. And Vegas is going to push them because they've got center depth that the Avs don't have, or the Avs haven't faced yet thus far. But I think the Avs are still going to take it in 6.
Awesome, Evan. Enjoy it, man. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Evan Rail joining us from Denver. Game 1 tomorrow, Avalanche and Vegas. And I think most of us would have Colorado as the favorite going in, but the health of Cale Makar is definitely something that could lower their, like, what if they're like 55-45, Makar gets, he's banged up, maybe it's 52-48, right? Like, I think it closes the gap. It doesn't shrink it completely. I just think it closes it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, could Cassidy bet on himself that he'll sign a longer-term contract for similar money from Pierogi Mark? Well, see, that I asked that question today, and so I was told it all depends on the wording of the contract. If the wording of the contract states that, the team, and it's written in the way that the team has the right to end the contract, basically fire the person, right? But most don't have that saying, oh, the coach can just walk away. So I was told and some contracts do vary. They're a little bit different. Not every NHL coaching contract has the exact same verbiage. Close, but not the same. So it would have to look to say, is there anywhere in there that says he can leave the team? Now, he is already being relieved of his duties. So does that, and if you want to go to court over it, I don't think there's a court that's going to hear it in a quick enough time, i.e. a month, that's going to allow him to win that court case. That's the challenge. Like, I'm not, people ask, well, Gregor, is there anything the Coaches Association can do other than send out a release? Well, again, legally, they haven't done anything wrong. They relieve him of his duties. He's still getting paid. That's what they're allowed to do. The courtesy of allowing him to interview somewhere else is a courtesy that usually teams give you, but it doesn't mean it's mandatory. So we'll have to see kind of where it goes from here. But the story's not going to go away. Edmonton, LA, they'd all push to interview the guy. Why wouldn't they? No one's in a rush. Add Vancouver to the list, although I don't think, Vancouver, they're in a rebuild. Bruce Cassidy's not going there. So, they've said they're in a rebuild. I think they're pretty maybe high in promoting their own guy, Manny Malhotra. We'll see from the American League. But LA, they feel they just acquired Panarin. They feel like, hey, we're gonna be competing here. Toronto has said in numerous places they're not rebuilding. Maybe a slight retool, but they're not rebuilding. So I think all those teams would like to interview Cassidy. We'll see if they get the chance. 833-401-1440. 1440, 833-401-1440. Take a quick break. When we come back, man, it was electric. If one game is this good, what's the rest going to look like? We'll discuss it on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net. When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Experience the home ice advantage with your window coverings. Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and fast turnaround on rollers, zebra, blackout, drapery, and motorized blinds. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carrions weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood.
Troll low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Nisku Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Tire. We're on this road together.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. It's Taco Tuesday at OTR with drink specials all day and $3 tacos from 5 to close. Check them out at Jasper Ave 118th or online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through Tuesday afternoon. How are you, man? We are, did you know we're getting closer and closer by the day? We're like 3 weeks away from the World Cup. It's a freaking big deal, man. Can't wait. It's awesome. Oh, June 12th, man. I'll be watching. I'm assuming many of you will be. As Canada hosts a World Cup game in Canada. Man, 10, 15 years ago, you never would have thought that's realistic. And the good news is, like, the team's more competitive. The women have been great for a long time. The men getting better. And should finally this year get our first win at the World Cup for our country. And if you could manage a good first 3 games, could move on to single elimination. Then, man, once you're in there, it's one game, anything can happen. That's what makes it awesome. So very much looking forward to that. Some of you I know are going. Awesome. So enjoy it. I know it's a little tight, a little pricey, but should be worth it, I would hope. Now let's get to our basketball report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC or furnace. LegacyHeating.ca's Paul Sir, host of Hoop City every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. right here on Sports 1440. Former pro coach and player in Europe. Paul, how you doing, my man? I don't know. Do we not have Paul? I don't think we do. So we will. It looked like it was froze. So see what happens. You guys reconnect and see if that works.
Jason, unfortunately, I can't hear you, so I might have to get Connor to call me. The volume isn't coming through.
All right, there you go. Well, we can hear you just fine, but it's hard if it's a one-way conversation. That's never good. We've all been involved in one-way conversations in life. They rarely are great, even if you're the one speaking. One-way conversations are never the best. Hey guys, what do you think the realistic chances are that the NHL Coaches Association carries enough weight to get this Bruce Cassidy thing changed? Honestly, Steve, I'm trying to think of, like, have I ever heard of the NHLCA really pushing the envelope on anything? No, but not sure they've really had to either. That's a challenge. So it's a good question, but I'm not sure. Now, Paul is with us. And Paul, I don't know if you needed a nap after that, man, but that was an electrifying game one. The two best teams in the NBA meeting in the Western Conference Final. Most people think whoever wins this series is probably going to win the championship, and no disrespect to the Knicks, but it's probably true. But my goodness, what an epic game one.
It was an epic game one. It was it was really a piece of history. You do not see games like that hardly ever. And I was reflecting today, Jason, about games that I've seen over the course of my lifetime. And the only one that popped into mind that I could compare to this game, and there have been a lot of great games, a lot of close games, was 1976 Celtics versus the Phoenix Suns, double overtime. Garfield Hurd hitting a shot with less than a second to go to send it into the double overtime. That was an epic game, but I don't ever remember seeing a game that was that dramatic, double overtime, all of a defending champion against the young upstarts, but with a generational performance like Wemby had.
Yeah, he was that's what does he think he's a tall Steph Curry? I don't know, but that 3-point shot was amazing. Like inside when you see him and his range, like he just posts up on guys And I know there was a block shot. Chad did get a block shot late in the game. But, man, it is like, I don't know. What do you think the Thunder could do different to defend him in game 2?
Well, I'm curious to see if their bully ball on defense is going to work by switching off Caruso and Dort along with Holmgren occasionally. But, certainly in game 1, they went all in on the smaller, more physical guys, bumping and muscling him and then sending guys at him as soon as he touched the ball. But he was better in the second overtime than he was throughout the whole game at dominating with his length and size. It seems like a no-win situation to me to have to play dirty to try to get Wemby off his game. I would think one of the things in my mind they should do is they should have Holmgren battle him for position in the low block, but I think they should be using Holmgren on him more and maybe one of the longer wings. Like Jay Will, like that to me seems like a better strategy because, Dort and Caruso, they just hack the guy bloody, and he's going to be going to the foul line all night, especially now that he's figured them out. And last year, he wanted to sit outside and shoot that logo 3 all the time. Now he wants to be inside where that ludicrous length of his just makes it almost impossible to stop him because he can catch the ball and keep it up so high that it's really, really hard for a much, much smaller player to defend him, no matter how physical they are.
Yeah, it is very challenging. Meanwhile, on the offensive side for the Thunder, what do you need to see different from them?
That's an interesting question because obviously a lot. The San Antonio Spurs, and I'm going to give a shout out to their associate head coach, Sean Sweeney. Sean was a teammate of my son Steve's along with Joe Mauer at Cretin-Derham High School in Steve's senior grade 12 year down in Minnesota. Sean is a basketball, hardest working basketball mind I've ever seen. But he's the guy who devised the defensive strategy to throw all of those different looks with one goal in mind and one goal only, and that was to make SGA uncomfortable. And certainly there were other adaptations that were going on to defend the rest of the team. But Caruso had a career night last night, and that's exactly what the Spurs wanted. They wanted Caruso to have to beat them. And I don't think Caruso is going to shoot that well game in and game out. So, he had a night.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. So now the question on the Spurs side is what can they do against all of those different looks to get SGA more involved? And here's something that I think is going to be very interesting because for the first time, I think we all witnessed SGA pressing last night and forcing and really looking uncomfortable. Or are the Thunder good enough without SGA getting 30 to 40 to win? And if that's the case, then they have to look at how they pass the ball and whose hands they put it into, such as Williams, to be able to let him be the dominant scorer and SGA more of a decoy until that doesn't work. And then San Antonio has to play everybody straight up. Then SGA can go to work.
Yeah, I figure that he's that good. He's back-to-back MVP, only the 14th player in NBA history to go to back-to-back MVPs. And, we're talking some of the greats of the greats in the league. Like it's one game. I found it I find a lot of these analysts, and I don't know if it's because he's Canadian or not, or maybe I'm oversensed, but I find like a lot of them look for any way to disparage him and so quickly want to write him off as being one of the top players. It's wild to me.
Well, it's wild, and I would attach another less flattering term, stupid. You got a guy who's clutch. Not only is he MVP, he's clutch player of the year.
Yeah,
and he was rattled a bit last night. And one of the reasons he was rattled is the defensive schemes that they were throwing at him. They were really complex, and they were really well executed by high-level athletes that are. Castle's a little bit bigger. Like it's hard to believe how big Castle is.
Yeah.
Like he's 6'7".
Yeah, he's big.
He's a big guy. So you got a guy as athletic as SGA, and getting help from all over with all these different looks. So, yeah, they have to adapt to it. But SGA will be just fine. And the pundits, or the so-called pundits, they're out of their mind. You're not a two-time MVP, regardless of what country you're from, unless you're really, really good. And clutch player of the year means you're used to the pressure situation. And even in spite of him having such a rough night, he still was hitting clutch shots down the stretch. His best games are ahead of him, that's for sure. But we are in for one heck of a series. One of the best matchups that I can think of for a long, long time. The freakish abilities of SGA against the juggernaut defending champion Thunder, along with the evolution and development of all this young talent that the Spurs have been building up. Now you're seeing these two young, stacked, super athletic, hard-playing team. I mean, Jason, that looked like a hockey game last night in terms of effort. You know what I mean? Like, playoff hockey to me is like where I see the athletes that work the hardest from the start to the finish of a game. Last night was exactly the same in basketball. I mean, Wemby diving for loose balls, the way he was diving, playing 48 minutes, is incredible. Just absolutely incredible. What a series.
The Knicks, before we get to the Knicks, that's got to be one of the worst home floor Game 7 performances I've ever seen. Detroit.
Terrible.
Oh, my goodness. Like, I couldn't believe how bad they were in that game.
I know. And, you can point to some of the good things that the Cavs did. And, they have players the last two games. They had a couple of players step up that you never would have expected. Merrill and Strus, big games. Yes, but the problem is more than that. Just like the Timberwolves in Game 6, the Pistons in Game 7 didn't even look like they felt like they should be out there. Now, we've seen that. You see this in team sports all the time. Inexplicably, teams show up and they're not ready to go. And it's they've done all the prep. The coaches have done all the planning. You've gone through all the film. Everybody should be ready, and they just aren't. Pistons weren't. But I think it pointed out one key thing for the Pistons. They had a phenomenal season for a team that won 20 games 2 years ago. They have come so far, but they're still 100% reliant on Cade Cunningham to be phenomenal for them to be good. They just do not have enough depth and enough other players to play off Cunningham. Again, when a team like Cleveland is blitzing him and trying to get the ball out of his hands, throwing all kinds of defensive schemes at him. Pistons don't have that yet. And I just think, to be honest, I just think they ran out of gas. They had overperformed, probably overachieved all year. I just think the air went out of the balloon that night. In Cleveland, number one, it saved the coach's job, Atkinson's job, probably. And then number two, other players started stepping up in a big way because they won going away with Harden having 9 points in the game. So, the Cavs go into the New York game. I would expect them to get beat in Game 1 because they're probably tired. But, to your point, Pistons were awful. Cavs go to the conference finals. Now we've got two teams that have huge payrolls, and both are desperate to win this series and get, I think, whichever team loses, they're going to be hands wringing and teeth gnashing in their management locker rooms because they've gone all in with the money they've spent to put these teams together.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Looking at the Knicks, to me, they're the clear favorite over the Cavaliers in this Eastern Conference final. Now, I guess, unless you disagree with me, you think the Knicks are going to win, then B, do you think the Knicks could push either the Spurs or the Thunder?
Two great questions. I think the Knicks are the clear-cut favorite. I'm always reluctant to make big predictions coming out because I want to see what the matchups look like. Like, can Mobley be a difference maker as a shot blocker and a defender? How good will Karl Anthony Towns be? Donovan Mitchell against a very strong defensive front for the Knicks. But no, I would say clearly the Knicks are the favorite. I can't see a scenario right now where the Knicks could play with either team in the Western Conference. I just don't know how that's possible. I mean, when you look at that, let's just look at San Antonio. If they were in the finals, that defense against a 5'11" Jalen Brunson, who's phenomenal. You know, he's absolutely phenomenal, but that kind of length, that kind of depth, that kind of athleticism, and the way they push the ball, I just have a hard time envisioning. I would think it would be a 5-game series at best. That's how I would see it. But yeah, first the Knicks have to demonstrate that they are. There's a reason why they're the clear-cut favorite. They've been putting up a whole bunch of points. Hard to imagine them being able to do that against either of the Western Conference teams.
Yeah, I would agree. What's coming up this weekend, man, on the show? Lots to talk about.
Let's talk about we're going to go into the NBA. I'm going to be lamenting the loss of my good friend Ben Golliver, who won't be able to come back because announcing tomorrow his new role with the major news network. I'm so happy for Ben. I can't say the name yet because it hasn't been announced, but everybody won't be surprised, but he's taken a huge leap forward in his career. So we're working on getting somebody for our deep dive. We're going to talk a bit about the Stingers. You know, they're 1-1, off to a start. A couple of fun home crowds here in Edmonton. I'm going to talk about the WNBA, and I'll tell you, that is one frustrating league for me. They drive me out of my mind. And the treatment of Caitlin Clark, of course, I'm the wrong guy. I'm an Iowa boy. And the treatment of Caitlin Clark, who has put this league on her shoulders, and there's lots of controversy about a lot of things going on in the league. But off to a good start. Toronto Temple are a fun team to watch. So we'll talk a little WNBA, CEBL, NBA, of course, and bring our community champion in too. We've got a great community champion, so it'll be a fun show.
Awesome, Paul. Appreciate it, buddy. Have a great show on Saturday. Appreciate your time.
Always look forward to talking with you, Jason. You have a great day.
You do. That's Paul Sir from Hoop City every Saturday morning right here on Sports 1440, 10 until noon. Coming up, we got TR, we got Dave McCarthy. Hour number 2. If you missed it, there's the release from the NHL Coaches Association. They're not enamored with what Vegas is doing and it's not just Edmonton. Cassidy right now has not been granted permission to talk to Toronto, LA, or Edmonton. Probably a little too early to talk about Vancouver. I'm not even sure they'd ask based on where their organization is, but it's a story that isn't going away. And the Oilers, you know what? Craig Berube is going to get an interview. I fully expect Peter Laviolette to be getting an interview. And I would think there'll be some others. You know, we got people wondering, what about Dan Bilesma? Yes, he's won. His was kind of a unique situation because he joined a team with 25 games left in the season, a team that had been in the Stanley Cup final the year before, and then they won. Awesome. It's great. I'm guessing, though, since he left Pittsburgh, not a lot of success. Head coach in Buffalo didn't make the playoffs. Assistant coach in Detroit didn't make the playoffs. Head coach in Seattle didn't make the playoffs. Now, you can argue that none of those teams were that good. Very valid. But, you know, winning a cup 2008, some might view it as maybe not. And not having much success in the last decade, right? Like Laviolette won in 2006. Long time ago. But he's had a fair amount of success in the last decade, right? Including losing to the final with the Nashville Predators and having losing in the third round other years. So he's had some other success, probably puts him a little higher up in that compared to a guy like Dan Bosma. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good for professional property services that you can feel good about. Get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Stable jobs create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Vancouver Canucks clearinghouse hiring head coach Adam Foote along with 3 of his assistant coaches in just one season behind the bench. The Canucks finished with a league worst record of 25-49-8. And the Vegas Golden Knights appeal to have their punishment reduced for breaking media access rules was denied by the NHL, and they will still lose a second-round pick. Today at the World Hockey Championships, Austria knocked off Latvia 3-1, Norway over Italy 4-0. Hungary gets past Great Britain 5-0. And in a shootout, it was Slovakia over Slovenia 5-4. Canada's next action not till Thursday when they'll take on Norway. In the association, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final has the Knicks and Cavs from MSG, tip-off 6 o'clock, and Major League Baseball Blue Jays in New York taking on the Yankees. First pitch, 5:05. We'll join that game in progress immediately following the Jason Gregor Show. Just one game underway right now. Marlins on top of the Braves 3-2 in the bottom of the third. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, former NHLer Terry Ryan. We'll look around the NHL with Dave McCarthy of Sirius XM, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca
Tantalized. How are you? How was your long weekend?
A trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you
We're almost at hump day here.
Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and
afternoon.
a
How
variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk, elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Divorce is never easy, but Fairway Divorce Solutions can help.
Their clear step-by-step process addressed all our issues, and we moved through the process quickly.
Fairway didn't take sides. They saved us money and heartache.
My ex, the kids, and I feel like we'll all be okay.
At Fairway Divorce Solutions, trained mediators and in-house lawyers will move your divorce process forward in a professional and efficient manner to achieve a fair resolution and separation agreement. Visit fairwaydivorce.com.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton sports leader. Sports 1440.
Get to bed last night. On the way to paperback was
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through a Monday. I knew I'd say it. Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Jeez. Thank God it's not Monday. Sorry for the scare. It is Tuesday. Later in the week, even better. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you're having an awesome day. Of course, NHL night off. We got tomorrow, the Western Conference Final gets going, and then the East will be on Thursday. Got a little NBA tonight. The Knicks taking on the Cavaliers. I like the Knicks a lot in that one. You can get in at PlayAlberta.ca. We'll even get some Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials for you as well. And I like the Knicks a lot in this series, to be honest. Welcome to the show. Former NHLer, stars on Shoresy. Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing?
Not bad. Enjoying a beautiful spring day on the rock. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm really good. When you where do you come out on this Bruce Cassidy thing? This is something we don't see very often. Now the NHL Coaches Association said, hey, we don't really like this, but legally, I'm not sure there's anything they can do.
I honestly I wasn't aware what happened. Well, I know that Bruce Cassidy was asked, talked to by the Oilers.
No, he's not. He can't get permission from anybody in the league. He can't talk to any of these teams.
Oh, really? No, honestly, I'm sorry. I guess I should have read the paper on the way here. I didn't realize that. What do I think? I don't know. That goes deep. That's beyond my comprehension right now. I'm not sure why that would be. It sounds like a unique situation. Why would that be? Are Vegas just playing hardball?
Yeah. Well, some would say hardball, others would say dicks. But, in their contract, he's getting paid, and so they're saying they haven't voided it. And legally, they're right. Legally, they don't owe him the opportunity to speak with other teams. They don't owe him. Legally, there's nothing. The way the wording in the contract states, you're relieved of your duties. There doesn't say in there that we have to give you. Now, most teams do it because they don't want to pay two coaches, right? Because now they have John Tortorella, who's obviously only on an interim basis. And so right now, it's not costing anything. So Vegas, I could see Vegas saying, you know what, on June 29th, before his next year of his contract kicks in, then we can grant him permission. Right? There's no real rush to do it right now. So I understand, is it a jerk move? Sure. But it's not illegal. It's just it doesn't happen very often. Usually teams are like, yeah, I'll grant permission here, knock your socks off, because if you get a new job, now we're going to pay you, right? And obviously, they probably think Bruce Cassidy's a good coach. You want him a Stanley Cup. Yeah. But they're like, well, we don't want him to go to Edmonton, and maybe we don't want him to go to L.A. Toronto, they probably don't care as much about, but I don't think they could open up Pandora's box and say, oh, we'll grant you permission to talk to Toronto, but not other teams. I don't think they would. So now they're just saying, can't talk to anybody. And the Coaches Association doesn't like it, but legally, I'm not sure there's anything they can do.
If the Coaches Association doesn't like it, it's too bad. There's all kinds of rules you don't like. If anybody was going to, but the rules, if anybody was going to do it, are you surprised it's Vegas? I don't doubt, but someone there probably just said, you know what? Or not one person, a committee said, let's just do it. Why not? I would think they would offer sheet guys. I would think they're the kind of team that, what have you done for me lately? I'm not opposed to it. It's storylines in the NHL. I mean, we're talking about it right now, but, and if they needed a, legit reason, I mean, you don't need to look beyond. He's a great coach. Just like you just said, he's a great coach. Why would I give you an advantage when I don't have to? There's lots of time. We're talking about the summer. You can easily land it then. We don't want to give you that advantage right now. I can see why. I wouldn't even be that upset.
Yeah, well, Oiler fans don't like it because they think Cassidy's good. So let's remove Bruce Cassidy from the conversation. Although the Oilers have lots of time, right? Like if they wanted to, they could wait. If they really believe that Bruce Cassidy's their guy, and here's the thing. I don't even know how much, now you interview him, I guess, because of his personality. You want to see, okay, does he get along with our guys, yada, yada, yada. So there's obviously some benefits to me from the interview process, but it's not like, geez, Bruce Cassidy just told me something I never knew about the game. Like, I don't think that's what you're going to uncover in the coaching interview. So let's just remove him and say that he's out. So you've got Peter Laviolette. There's Craig Berube. Some people said Jay Woodcroft. I don't think it's a fit on either side. I'm not sold Jay Woodcroft would want to come back here. There's Dan Bilesma. If you're looking at coaches who have won prior, right? That's him in the conversation. I don't think that Mr. Babcock's going to get a ton of opportunities at this point. But there are a list of lots of other coaches who have been NHL coaches who are currently assistant coaches around the league, right? Quite a few of them, actually, from Claude Julien, Dave Lowry, Dave Haxtell, Dean Evison, Derek Lalonde, Jack Capuano, Jeremy Colleton, Jim Hiller, Joe Sacco, John Stevens, Todd Richards. Even Todd Nelson was 51 games as an interim head coach for the Edmonton Oilers. How important do you think previous head coaching experience should be for the Oilers in this hire?
God, I honestly don't think there's like one perfect fit. I think you need the right players, and I think there's probably a certain kind of coach that would fit the mold, but it's not one person. I don't think is the be all and end all. I mean, you start with the nucleus of the team they got. Now, clearly, I truly believe, I don't care who was the coach this year, I would have stayed with Knobloch. Like, I don't care who was the coach. I don't think they were winning because of the players that were on the ice. I think they were close, and they were close, but not close enough. And they've fallen off from a year ago. And I just think it's more about personnel. They need to go out and they need to figure it out. They need to get a goalie. They need to match, just figure out some areas and sit down as committee. Now, whoever you get to coach, I think there's a bunch of people that you just listed. I'm all about new coaches. I never understood why it's such a revolving door of people with quote unquote experience and they lose. They just got fired somewhere else. I also know that the leash is short and there's all kinds of times it works. And there's something to be said for experience, of course, but it's often like just dominates the whole conversation. Oftentimes it's like we talk about coaches that are available, like there is nobody else available. There's all kinds of people available. What about Marty St. Louis? Ask him what he was doing a few years ago. There's all kinds of people available, and there's people available in the minors that got to deal with all kinds of other things, and they still do it, and they win. Winning in the minors is often a lot harder. You don't know what you're going to get. The American Hockey League playoffs, through injuries and contracts and people being sent up and down and backwards and forwards, you don't know what's happening. And if you can pull off a consistent level of winning down there, it means that you're pretty good with prospects. And of course, this isn't a team full of prospects, but I just mean if you can do that and win with different slate of people every year or come close to it, then you're probably got some systems that work. If you can work with the players, then Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are a great place to start.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if it was the best decision to axe the head coach and put all the blame on him again. Seems to be an organizational issue, no question. I saw a lot of people say, "Oh, Craig Berube, there's no chance the Oilers should hire him because look at the minutes that he played Austin Matthews against league competition." I'm like, okay. It took me literally 30 seconds to look and say, "Oh, Willie Nylander just had the best points per game of his career." And he played the third highest minutes percentage of time against elite players. Like, you can't just pick one thing. Oh, Matthews against elite, and that's why the coach is terrible. Like, give me a break. Maybe at some point the players got to play better. And oh, by the way, when Austin Matthews played 42% of his time instead of 46, he scored 41 goals in 52 games in 2021. Right, which was on pace for 64. So don't tell me that the best players can't produce when they play against the other team's good players. He's done it. He just didn't have a good year. Wasn't just on the coach per se. But, when you look at Edmonton, do you believe they really need like more of a big personality kind of hard? Like, because Chris Knobloch, pretty quiet guy. Jay Woodcroft, definitely not a big person. Do you think they need an outgoing, gregarious, kind of louder coach?
That's honestly a great question. A great question. I've wondered. It seems to me that they have that the leaders on the Oilers are loud voices that aren't passive. So you would think no, but something's amiss, and we're not in the dressing room. I mean, you technically are here and there, but you know what I mean. When the doors close and the competition's on, we're not there. But I suppose if one, again, I think it's more the players on the ice, but it depends what kind of, big personalities, they can sway. That spectrum matters, right? Big personality in what way? I had a Michel Therrien, that was a big personality. I hope I never, ever see him again. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have to make it about me. I'm just saying there are big, you just mentioned Mike Babcock, big personalities. You want that or not? There are also big personalities, Tortorella, there you go. Here's, is it helping or hurting Vegas? I don't know. They just lost the second round pick. There's just so much to dissect there. But maybe someone who can like take control and, within all the possible candidates you mentioned, right? If it's a Venn diagram, there's going to be a few that have these traits that have all of them, right? So, I mean, again, what do the Oilers, what you and I want is one thing. I'm sure when they get behind closed doors, it's easy enough. Who has all these? Now that's who you interview. And from there, so someone maybe with the sense of control. Because when you have players that are, like, I get the sense Connor McDavid wants to be coached. I don't get the sense he's like LeBron, even though he's brought in people that were there before that he's been familiar with. I just think that if the coach was doing his thing, he'd let him be. That's what I think, but I don't really know. But it seems to be that way. A bunch of them, all the Oilers leaders are rather humble. They say what's on their mind when, let's be honest, it's real. They don't seem to be shit disturbers. I would think that they would take direction when the person giving that direction is respected. Yes. So a good heavy level of control, I would think, healthy, level of control would probably be necessary.
Yeah. I wonder if at times, like, you got to change something. Now Tippett and McClellan, they had those guys, and those guys are fiery too. So it's not one personality trait. I don't believe that, if a coach has previous NHL experience, he's automatically going to be great. I do believe there's heightened internal pressure more than ever. They look and say, oh my God, like this next coach, man, it's got to be somebody that makes sure we get it right. And I agree with that. Sure, they got to get the coaching right, but there's lots of other factors here. They got to get any trades they make right. They got to get the majority of the signings they make right. They can't have another off season that has one really good move followed by two meh moves. They just can't do it. So coaching is one element of it, but the management decisions by Stan Bowman have to be just as important.
Oh, I think more important if you talk about like results recently. And I would honestly, I respect, I don't know the level of communication that goes on now in the NHL, but I would let the big players on the Oilers have a big say in it. I would, because if first of all, there's only so many systems in it. Like, when you're talking coaching, what are you talking? So you know who you're bringing in, and whatever systems they go with, and I'm sure that can change, obviously, and there's nuances to all of it. So then what are you talking about, right? You're talking about like the lines you're putting together, the approach, the motivation factor. Assistant coaches are more important now than ever have been. So I guess there's a lot of factors, but given where the Oilers are and the experience, yeah, I would definitely, that's my instinct to take a lot of input from the leaders.
Quick break. Yeah, see, I'm always kind of concerned about, like, they've never had the guy coach him. What kind of input can a player give on a coach, right? That's my challenge.
Yeah, I hear you. I do. It's just, I guess, a gut feeling. And I think they know a lot about hockey. And whoever it is, someone's going to have I think there are enough common denominators. But again, maybe not. It wouldn't be the be all and end all, but that's the way I would sway when it comes to the Oilers for sure. The Leafs, maybe not. The different personalities and different, over the years. Am I going to let Marner and Matthews pick, given Marner now is gone, but, Nylander, I don't know if they seem to care enough, about this. Maybe they do. It seems to me that the leaders on the Oilers, when they have I bone to pick, they're very good at being cryptic publicly. And it seems like, I got, call the rest of it gut, but I would let them in on the decision.
Quick break. When we return, Dave McCarthy joins us. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
This is you.
Hi.
And your cornhole team needs money.
Yeah, we do need money.
Plus, you've tried every fundraiser under the sun.
No kidding, and no one's buying my Cuban salted chocolate.
Scrap the chocolate and fundraise for your team, club, or charity at On the Rocks. Here's the deal. We'll create custom tickets for your event, which includes no cover, no line, and beverage before 10 p.m. Then you sell your tickets and keep all the profits.
That sounds easy.
It is. Fundraisers at On the Rocks. Book, party, cash. OnTheRocksYEG.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.ca.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a Sport Performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's Famous Tent Sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Bricks tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
My go-to move for getting out of the doghouse is catch of the week. Forget flowers. I head there, and the staff points me to the perfect fish and tells me how to cook it. It's easier than you think. Last week, I made an incredible salmon dinner. My wife was so impressed, she forgot why she was mad. It's my secret weapon. It works every time. They're just 5 minutes from Sherwood Park, but it's worth the drive from anywhere. Stop thinking about dinner and just go to Catch of the Week.
Make sure to visit catchoftheweekedmonton.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.329, welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time now to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings right now. You're thinking about it. You look at that big orange thing in the sky, and you're like, man, that's off a lot of heat. Well, you get solar on your home or your commercial. Save you some money. Get it right now. actionelectrical.net, as Dave A. McCarthy from SiriusXM joins us once again. And Davey, always good to chat with you. We're into our conference finals. The Montreal Canadiens, Alex Newhook, what a series. And the Habs win a very entertaining series and a very entertaining game. Really just kind of came down to the last shot and who got it. And it turns out it was the Habs.
Yeah, I'm just worried that Alex Newhook is dangerously close to taking over the title of Mr. Newfoundland from our boy here. Like, is that in question? I'm deeply concerned because all this guy does is come up in the clutch, Terry, in Game 7s.
I hear you, buddy. That thought went through my mind as well, and you know what? I'm just going to have to be cool with it. That's it. He's taken over. He's taken over, and I'm loving it. We watched last night, and I know it's your interview, but that was incredible. I've watched a lot of things happen in my life. Danny Cleary got the first Stanley Cup, Michael Ryder the second, all in my lifetime, well into it. And then, Alex, but to see 7 goals in a series and the way he scored them was phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been playing great. I was really impressed with how Montreal was able to rebound. And as Marty St. Louis said, bounce forward after a disastrous outing in Game 6. I mean, they did not look good at all. And I'm always of the mind that, and I guess in this case incorrectly, you get pumped like that late in the series, especially a younger team. I think you just kind of wonder, all right, maybe are we at the end of the road here? Maybe are we not quite good enough? They gave up 7 straight goals in Game 6. They didn't just lose. They gave up 7 straight after looking like they kind of had that game in hand. At the Bell Center on Saturday, where it looked like a coronation was set up, but they bounced back in a way that other teams located maybe a little bit closer to me could never even dream of doing in similar circumstances. So I just thought that was a really impressive outing from a Montreal Canadiens team that is still relatively young. Yeah, they've got some experience in guys like Philippe Deneau, and Josh Anderson's been around the block, and a guy like Alex Newhook as well. But let's be honest, the core of their team is still really inexperienced. The goalie is inexperienced in Jacob Dobush. But they grinded it out, and I didn't think they were necessarily the better team throughout the entirety of Game 7, but they were good enough to win when it mattered, and they got a guy who delivered in the clutch. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, boys, in the conference final, because like that second round seemed like it was back and forth and kind of high scoring. I don't think they'll win like that against Carolina. They'll have to play a lot more like they did against Tampa Bay, but you wonder if they've got a chance to push them now, especially going into a series where Carolina's been sitting around for almost 2 weeks, and that's a long time to fire it back up again. I think they'll be able to, but I do have my questions.
Yeah, it's very possible. I look at both of these series, and Carolina and Colorado are the favorites, but Carolina is extremely healthy, and I saw a stat that basically since the end of the regular season they've played 8 games. Montreal has played 14 games, and in the same period of time, right? Like obviously that the Montreal is going back-to-back 7-game series. Carolina is going back-to-back sweeps. They're rested. Their goalie's rested. He can never stay healthy, but now that he's getting 11 days off after getting a week off the other time, like I have a real hard time thinking Montreal is going to be able to keep up with it. And I know that Carolina's setting the modern day record for longest break, Dave, but the last time they had an 8-day break, they shut out Philly in Game 1. Like I don't see the break being an issue at all. Do you?
I don't think so. I really don't. I talked to Brooks Like on my program on Sunday, and he brought up an interesting point that when he was going through the Calder Cup playoffs in 2005-06 in the Washington system, they had 2 separate lengthy breaks, and they were able to come out of it. So he said that if you manage it properly, it shouldn't be an issue, especially with an older veteran team like this Carolina team. I do think it benefits them more so than hindering them. And I think they understand what's at stake in these playoffs. Like, they will never get a better draw through to the Stanley Cup final than they have this year. And so I think they understand that. If they let this opportunity get by, that will be a huge chance missed for Carolina. So for that reason, I'm pretty confident that they're going to be able to hit the ground running here in the conference finals. Maybe Montreal kind of plays the first half of the game in Game 1, like they're right there, and then they hit a wall. I guess they could, considering they've come off a high. Then there's the old, well, do they have a letdown after? It's so hard to predict, but I guess the long answer is I don't see Carolina letting this chance pass them by, and if they do, they'll have nobody to thank but themselves.
Davey, did you think it was a little excessive to penalize the Vegas Golden Knights a second-round pick on top of everything else? No, at all. Because number of reasons on this. One, if you do not include a draft pick in that punishment and only set it at $100,000 fine, what you have done is set the cost of doing that kind of business with the media. And there might be some owners willing to pay the $100,000. There will be no owners that will be willing to pay a second-round pick. So I'm glad that the commissioner upheld the punishment, because what you're doing then is you are making your league look Mickey Mouse if teams can operate on vibes, and we don't feel like it today, so we're not talking. There are organizations that pay billions and billions of dollars for rights, and included in that is the availability of the coach, of players, literally written into the collective bargaining agreement. This has been agreed upon. There is no choice
It's been agreed upon. And if you wantonly disregard that agreement, you need to be punished heavily. Otherwise, your league becomes like the Arena Football League or the XFL, where nobody talks about you because you're just doing your own thing. Precedent has been set. You need to abide by it within the grounds of the collective bargaining agreement. And in doing so, if you disregard it, the punishment must be high so that teams never even think of doing it again. I'm glad they upheld the punishment, because I know Jason and I talked about this on my show on Sunday. They come out strong and then they withdraw the punishment. Well, then you look like a joke. So I'm glad the commissioner basically said, thank you for coming, request denied, off you go.
Good. It's a good answer. You changed my mind. What do you see ahead of the Vegas Colorado series? What do you got?
Well, I think Colorado to me is the team that needs to be the favorite, but I am concerned about Cale Makar. And again, you and I, Jason, talked about it, and I completely agree. He does not look like himself. He does not look like the same dynamic Cale Makar as he is when he is at his best. That being said, he was able to be effective enough. I think Vegas should win a couple games. Like, I don't think it's going to be a situation where they roll over them, because I think Vegas is a pretty savvy team with the veterans that they have. And I think John Tortorella has done a good job getting the most out of this group. I completely agree with what Kelsey, like, I can pay compliments and be harsh about the same organization in the same interview. Never think that my opinion is biased here, is skewed. I think Kelly McCrimmon was absolutely right when he made the coaching change to say the reason we did it is because we thought we had more here. If we didn't think that, we would have let it play out. And so John's come in and he's been able to get the most out of this group. I think it has its flaws. I don't think they're maybe quite as fast as they could be, but they're getting the most out of this group. I think they'll get a game or two, but I would be surprised, Terry, if Colorado is ultimately not the winner of this series.
Yeah, I would agree. I do think that the Makar injury, though, if he's out or if he's playing banged up, that can be the difference sometimes in a tight series for sure. Vancouver, Dave, they get their new GM, they get their co-presidents. Now they get rid of the whole coaching staff. Not really a surprise to me.
No.
I didn't think, considering lots of people felt like Adam Foote maybe was a little bit over his head in his first year as a head coach. So you look at Vancouver, and then you got LA, and then you got Toronto, and then you got Edmonton. Any guesses on where you think certain coaches land? And Vancouver's clearly looking for a different coach than I think those other teams.
Yeah, I think Vancouver's in a position where they're going to try to bring in a teacher, right? Somebody that can guide them through, let's be honest, still probably a year or two of pain. I don't see them getting any better, although they're in the pillow fight division, so you never know. But I still think the right way of doing it is to go on a slow build there in Vancouver. So I'd expect them to bring in someone who is a teacher, someone who is willing to be able to work with younger players, has patience, not a guy who's necessarily looking to be a finisher. So a guy like a Bruce Cassidy, a Peter Laviolette, somebody of that nature, I don't see that in Vancouver. I think that's a perfect spot for a guy like Andre Tourigny was in Arizona, now Utah, a number of years ago, where he came in, he had patience, there was buy-in with the staff to say that we're not going to expect you to win every game as long as you facilitate the process that we want to put in place. I think that's the right way of going about it in Vancouver. LA is in a weird spot. Like, I think they've got some pieces where they think they can contend. Alize Kopitar leaving, that's going to represent a void within their team. They've got Artemi Panarin, Kevin Fiala is going to be back healthy. And so I think they're looking to contend, but I don't see them as a contender. But having said that, I'll be interested to see what direction they go in terms of coaching. I know the way I'd go, and it's not a finisher type of coach, but I'm not convinced that they won't go that direction. Toronto, again, similar. I think patience would be key, but I don't think Keith Pelly, the president CEO of MLSE, sees it that way. I think he looks at them as a team that can contend sooner rather than later. So I think they might look for a guy that either has that gravitas of a seasoned veteran coach, or I think their pipe dream is David Carl from the University of Denver. If they can convince him to come, it would cost some money and cost some term. I think they would be willing to go in that direction because he's progressive in a way that I think would fit with their management structure and John Chayka. But again, that remains to be seen because I know the way I see the team. I don't think it's necessarily the way people whose decision matters see the team in terms of its competitiveness and its ability to contend sooner rather than later. But having said all that, boys, I'll just say one more thing on Vegas. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Bruce Cassidy. I don't like that. I think he should be free to seek employment where it is available. I think he would be a perfect fit in Edmonton because I think he would help them defensively. And I guess Vegas sees that as well, and they don't necessarily want him to go to a division rival. And I tweeted out something of that nature yesterday where I said I didn't want to disparage the good name of Mickey Mouse, but it's clown behavior. What they're doing in Vegas right now, preventing Bruce from seeking work. I put my phone down. I came back to it 5 hours later. I saw 75 at mentions or notifications. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell have I done? And it was people going back and forth, and I've had a bunch of lawyers sliding into my DMs explaining contract law to me, to which I'll say thank you, but I'm aware of the contract law. I'm also aware of another legal principle known as precedent, which is often adhered to in circumstances like this where, yes, under the grounds of the contract, Vegas is within their right to do it, but precedent suggests if you determine a guy is not good enough to coach your team, you don't stand in his way of seeking employment elsewhere when it should come along. This answer from the desk of McCarthy and Associates, barristers and solicitors. So I just don't like the precedent that it sets because it's basically never done. You fire a coach, some team comes calling, you give permission. It's the right way of doing business. If you want to be able to attract new coaches to come to your team down the road, I'm not saying that Vegas will never be able to attract a coach, but what it might do is cost you a little bit more term and a little bit more money because whoever it is that's coming on board down the road is well aware of how they choose to do business. And it's not how I would do business if I was in charge of Vegas.
It's true. Thing about Vegas is they give two bleeps about anything. That's just kind of how they do it. And I could see it, Dave, that right now they're not paying Bruce, right? Season's over, it's regular season. You watch.
Yeah.
When June 30th comes, they'll say, you know what? We'll grant them permission now to interview for jobs.
Yeah, but now the jobs have passed.
Well, exactly, because now they can say, hey, if you want to get the job, now we're not going to have to pay you. It's easier for us to hold out now because we're not paying you. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I won't be shocked if I see that.
I completely agree, but that speaks to my point. All very well and good to give him permission then. Now maybe Edmonton's hired a coach. Maybe Toronto's hired. And there's not jobs available. So to hear we're only focused on the playoffs right now, here's how that goes. Hi, it's Stan Bowman. Can we speak to Bruce? Yeah, sure. No problem. Hang up. That's the extent of it. Don't give me, we're too focused on the playoffs. That's nonsense.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. It is, it's great drama in the hockey world and quite funny in the NHL. Davey, always good to catch up with you, buddy. Have yourself a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll chat with you Sunday on the Brunt.
Yeah, right on, boys. At the end of the day, I kind of love it because it gives us material, and that's what we're all about.
There you go. There's Dave A. McCarthy from SiriusXM. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. We got Chris Morris joining us in studio and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry it. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. Ewell.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
We continue on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Howley, Declan Kruger with you on a lovely Tuesday afternoon. It's time for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. And you got a few days left in the Brick's tent sale. Down to the final. Man, they're clearing out everything. 70% off clearance mattresses, appliances, furniture, and electronics. You can get a microwave for only $100. right now at thebrickandthebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question number 1. The name Craig Berube has been popping up amongst Oilers fans with their coaching vacancy. We saw him get the Leafs to the second round, which is pretty impressive. How do you think the fit would be in Edmonton?
We talked a little bit about this. I do think people overreact when they say Matthews' numbers went down. When I mentioned it's a lot to do with the players on the ice, Toronto, it's even more pronounced than that. And there's a lot more factors. I don't think he'd be bad. I think if it were between him and Cassidy, I'd probably go with Cassidy for reasons that Dave pointed out earlier, but I don't think it's a terrible interview.
Yeah. I wouldn't have a problem with Craig Berube. I can't say like for certain. I haven't spoke to a player about Craig Berube in Toronto, but I talked to guys in St. Louis. They loved him. Now they won. So guess what? When you win, everything's always better. So I don't think it's ever as bad as it is right now. You know, some people think he's just a terrible coach and probably never as good as someone thought when you won. So he's pretty direct, straightforward, hard-nosed coach. Something the Oilers really haven't had. So it would be different. Would it guarantee better results? No. But I think there's nothing negative about interviewing him. I kind of chuckle at the people that are so quick to just say, oh, Craig Berube should never get interviewed. First of all, you should interview as many coaches as you can right now. The more you interview, 100%. The more information you're going to get about your team.
Yeah. Question number 2 for you guys. Conference finals going to get going tomorrow. Who's your pick to win each series and in how many games?
I got Carolina. Sorry, Habs fans, but I think Carolina wins in 5. And I have Colorado in 6. But the Makar thing gives me pause to think maybe Vegas has a little bit of an upset. But I'll go with the C's.
At the start of the playoffs, I picked Carolina and Colorado. Who do I think? Carolina. Who do I hope? The Canadians. I'll say Carolina in 6, Colorado in 5.
Question number 3. More changes in Vancouver, obviously parting ways with their coaching staff. Who do you guys think could be a good fit for the Canucks next year?
I like Manny Malhotra coaching in their system. He's young. There's no pressure to come in and win. There's a completely different situation. Earlier we talked about different fits for different teams. I mean, who knows? There's so many out there, but he's right in their organization. He's young, and the team could grow with and around him.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was anybody but Manny Malhotra, to be honest. I think that they know him in the organization. They didn't even, when they were asked about it today, they didn't even shy away to say, hey, you know what, if his, now I wouldn't draft his son 3rd overall. I wouldn't do it personally, but maybe they would. We'll see. But I think it's going to be Manny Malhotra, who has a good reputation of working with young players. And you know what? You're hiring a coach who's going to help develop your team. Wins are they'd be nice, but they're almost second. Well, not secondary. You want to win sometimes, but yeah, I think it's Manny Malhotra. You know exactly what you have in the person. They should interview other people to be sure, but I'd be stunned if it's not Manny Malhotra.
Question number 4 for you guys. Last night, Victor Wembanyama was outstanding. 49 minutes played, 41 points, 24 boards, 3 blocks in there as well. I mean this in a compliment. Is there a more freakish athlete in the world right now than Wemby?
Ooh, it's hard for me to overlook Shohei Ohtani because we've never seen a player pitch that well, hit that well, steal bases that well. Like the guy just, oh, you know what? I can't pitch for a year. Okay, I'll hit 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. Oh, you know what? Now I'm not hitting as well. You know, I'm just going to have an ERA under 1, and I'm going to have a walks, hits, inning pitch under 1. Like that's freakish to me. Like Wemby's tall, which is great. It's a big man sport, but like Shohei's done it for years, and his numbers are out of this world. Nothing that Wemby's done over a long, full season has been like, oh, we've never seen. Now he blocks a lot of shots, I get, but I'm talking from like a dominant offensive type scenario. He's good at rebounding stuff, but he's not dominating like a hitter and pitcher has in sports. So I got to say Ohtani.
100% Ohtani. Right now, if we were in any other time in history, and we just put a magnifying glass on right now, it's Ohtani. 5 years, it might be Wembanyama next season. But last night was phenomenal, and those second half highlights, I was jaw dropped. I couldn't believe it. But lots of great games. He's built for it, though, man. He's going to be great for many years to come, and a chance to do things that we've never seen. I'll admit that.
Final question today. It would have been the late Andre the Giant's birthday, the 8th wonder of the world in some circles. In honor of that, give me your favorite WWF superstar from the 80s.
My favorite one superstar. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Coco Beware early on. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I'd be lying if I didn't say Jake the Snake. I'd quote him and try to be like him. He was the most animated Paul Bear, of a group of people that were basically caricatures. He was my favorite. There you go, Jake the Snake.
Yeah, it's hard for me to go above the Ultimate Warrior, man. He was unreal. His intense energy coming to the ring was fantastic. And just for his antics and his on-mic persona, Roddy Piper, sick, right? Plus, he's Canadian. So I'll go with the double R. I like it.
Good.
There you go.
Con man?
It's always The Undertaker, but honorable mention, Hawk and Animal. Always like the Road Warriors coming out with the shoulder pads, the face paint. I always enjoyed those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Axe and smash, buddy. Will destroy. Oh, demolition. Killer tag team. TR, have yourself a wonderful Thursday. Enjoy the games. We'll be talking on Thursday, and we'll already be into the Western Conference Final. We'll be setting up these. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Edmonton. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Connor. See you guys soon.
There you go. That's Terry Ryan joins us every Tuesday and Thursday. When we come back, the president of the Edmonton Elks in year 2. What has he learned? What's on the horizon? New turf? Lots of new other things. We'll get to all of that. But first, here's the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, they're here for all your vehicle needs and more. With their digital vehicle report, they don't just tell you what your car needs. They'll show you. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Vancouver Canucks making some moves today, firing head coach Adam Foote along with 3 of his assistants and 1 season behind the bench. The Canucks finished with the league worst record, 25, 49, and 8. And the Vegas Golden Knights appealed to have their punishment reduced for breaking media access rules. Was denied by the NHL. They will still lose a second-round pick. In the association tonight, just a 1 game. Knicks, Cavs in the Eastern Conference Final. Tip-off 6 o'clock from MSG. In the association, for the majors, Toronto Blue Jays are in action in New York, taking on the Yankees' first pitch just after 5 o'clock. We'll have that one for you here on Sports 1440 AM feed only. 1 game currently underway. Braves Marlins in the 4th, tied at 4 apiece. Later on tonight, you got Red Sox Royals, Twins host the Astros, Pirates taking on the Cards, the Mariners up against the White Sox, the Dodgers in San Diego, and the Diamondbacks hosting the Giants. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by 3-time Grey Cup champion and Edmonton Elks president and CEO, Chris Morris. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
In Alberta, every family has a baseball game day tradition for the summer.
We always bring our gloves to the ballpark. We always keep score.
We always bring Wilhock beef jerky. Some things change, but the best home run snack never does.
Wilhock beef jerky.
Whether you're watching from your recliner or the stands, make it a part of your summer ball game tradition.
Wilhock beef jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep, and yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move
Jason
forward
Gregor.
with confidence. Call 1-833
Show presented by
BDO
Play
Talk
Alberta.
or visit BDOdebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Yeah, how you doing,
For 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Puck Drop Special at Papa John's. A large 2-topping pizza with 8-piece wings for only $28.99 with promo code PuckDrop at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through Tuesday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As always, presented by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. You got lottery tonight, Lotto Max, $25 million and 25 extra prizes of $100,000. So get your tickets at playalberta.ca. And while you're there, you can check out our Jason Gregor Show specials. We got some Jays action for you. We've got a little NBA. And then, of course, a preview for Game 1 of the Western Conference Final in the National Hockey League. But now it's time to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center, where they are hosting Gene Simmons, performing all the classic hits in November. You want to get your tickets at silenticecenter.com. They're going quick, so you want to book it to ensure your seat to see Mean Gene. As we are joined in studio, not sure if he's a Gene Simmons fan or not, but he, of course, is a fan of the Elks. He's the president, Chris Morris, joins us back in studio. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me in.
Hey, I appreciate it. So it's kind of year 2 now. I know that technically year 2 started a few months ago for you, but we're coming up on the second season for the team. And if you look back on it, where do you feel it, and this is like the non-football side of the organization. And you were very honest when you took over that it was going to take some time to, kind of give people in the organization an opportunity to kind of see what your plan was and see, who would fit and who wouldn't fit. And kind of, we fast forward from May last year to May now. Where are you better at as an organization, do you feel?
Yeah, I think like stability and trust, right? So I think people have watched us over the last year and they've watched us build a sense of stability in the organization and stability in how we interact with our partners and interact with the city and interact with our community. And then once you have stability, then consistently you try to do things the right way and build trust back with people. And I think that was what was lacking for us for several years. There were people out there who just didn't believe what they were hearing from the organization. And I think we've taken some really, really huge strides to fix that.
And season tickets, I know, are the renewals is up more than ever. It's been because it was always kind of a constant going down and shrinking in the season tickets, and now it's starting to go. Now it's not like it's tripled or anything, but it eventually got to hit rock bottom and then start coming back up, right? And you're maybe seeing some signs that the hard work is starting to maybe grow some roots.
Yeah, we only won 7 games last year, even though we won some meaningful games at home against some pretty good opponents, right? So for us to be turning that graph around and turning our season tickets to the point now where we're going to be on the upward swing for the first time in about a decade, I think that's a pretty significant accomplishment. I think that's it's a testament to the stuff that Ed's doing and what people are seeing him build and the quality of young men that we're bringing in here to play for us and some of the interactions we're having with our business community as well. So I think it's a combined effort with everybody. And again, rebuilding that level of trust with our community.
I had fan day yesterday and man, it was packed and it was rocking and, very loud. And, I talked to alumni, I talked to current players about it. Declan was down there and said that just like a different feel, like there seems to be a lot of more positive vibes around the team. And I know that, positive vibes, that's worth a whole lot of nothing at the end of the day, but do you sense that, I got to think for an organization, like staff and everybody else that, you feel like, okay, all the hard work is worth it now.
Yeah. There's a bunch of things that can happen around a team that are really distracting. Like when you don't do the business side right, when you release players, when things like your equipment manager's been there for 49 years gets let go, like they create distractions and really negative tones around your team. When you take all that away and you actually act with common sense and you do things that are predictable and things that make sense to the public, right? Now what's left is now we got to win games and now we got to be better at football and we got to do all those things. And we have great people in place to have that happen. And I think that removing all those distractions now takes really the focus and puts it on, okay, do we have a good football team in place? Do we have good guys come in that are talented, athletic, good for our community, good fits in a million ways? And I think we do. I think we have a really talented roster this year and I'm excited to see what they do on the field. I haven't seen, there's not a team out there who's better constructed than us right now as far as lines of scrimmage and like guys who can run and key positions and all those different things. So I think for the first time since I've been here, I look out on the field and I'm okay. I feel like we're competitive in every single position and we can, there's going to be close games because we're in professional football and all those different things, but I feel we're constructed in a way that we're going to be competitive in every single contest.
Now, season heat seats are coming up. They're for sale right now. People want to get in on them. We got a few different packages, but for current season seat holders, your lone exhibition game is going to be at Clark Stadium this year. And for a lot of people out there, you have to, because obviously you can't fit all your season ticket holders at Clark for one game. So you have to redeem your ticket. And once all the tickets are redeemed, well, then you're kind of SOL for those people. So, right. But a lot of people, I don't know if they're unaware of this, but there seems to be some who are like, well, I'm just going to show up at the game. And I'm like, well, did you redeem your tickets? Well, what do you mean? I got to see. I said, well, not every season ticket holder can sit at Clark Stadium. There's not enough seats.
Yeah, that's true. And, we've done it. It's tricky because it happened in the middle of the ticket cycle. So we couldn't just say to season ticket holders, this year, we're not going to sell our preseason game. What we had to do, because it came to us in February, was we're going to give a refund to all of our season ticket holders for that first preseason game. So that credit is sitting in everybody's account. And lots of people have gone in, used the credit and bought seats for Clark, but there's some people who haven't. And for me, my biggest fear is that people show up on game day and are like, hey, I got a ticket for this one. And we'll have a bunch of stuff set up so they can still redeem it. but it's going to make it way easier for them if they go into their account right now, use their credit and buy those not whole gang tickets, and you know what, Jason, it's going to be a really fun night. Like, it's the first time playing at Clark Field for many, many, many years. You're really close to the field. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. That's going to be really fun that night. A bunch of retro stuff. The tailgate's going to be going. Like, it's going to be a really fun evening. So I'm hoping that people take advantage of it, because our season ticket holders have put up with a lot for many years here, and they love this team and they're going to love this experience. So I hope as many of them are listening to this as possible so that they can make sure they redeem that, use that credit, and show up on that night.
So you go into your account and you got to click redeem it, because then you'll know, okay, here we go, I can get my tickets.
Yeah, they basically just purchase the tickets with the credit they have sitting there for that game. So it's really easy to do, but I think we've sent emails and we've actually called every season ticket holder. I think we're going on our third round now of calling people and leaving texts and making sure, because we want to make sure no one feels like we just didn't communicate this to them, right? Okay. So we're doing our very, very best to make sure we connect with them. We understand some people aren't, like, they're not tuned into their email and they not be, but hopefully with the calls, the emails, the social media messaging, everything else we're sending out, that they get a chance to, to do what they need to do.
Yeah. At this point, if somebody gets upset, you can say, well, geez, man, we called you multiple times. It's being like, I've seen it out there, because I actually had a few people ask, because I asked them, my buddy's a season ticket holder, but I said, dude, are you living under a rock? It's like, wow, geez, man, I should check my email. I'm like, yeah, maybe you should. So that is something that's kind of unique. And obviously it's because there's the friendly for the World Cup that's going on coming up in 2 weeks' time. They put in grass for like one game. But the benefit, now you guys were going to get new turf anyway, because it was 12 years old. But you get the new turf in. What do you feel? Is there any benefit? Like, is it softer, or does it, are the players going to notice a significant difference?
Yeah, the turf it's next generation turf, right? So it's approved by Rugby Canada, Football Canada. Like, it's the best turf you can get. The city didn't splurge on what we're putting into Commonwealth. And the same thing is what they put in at Clark and at the field house there. So the guys are practicing on that same model of turf this training camp. Now, the new stuff's always a little softer. And there's some research actually around, like, if it's too soft, you can get some injuries on it, just for like soft tissue injuries and all that sort of stuff. So I know that we're talking to the turf people about, making sure that it's firm enough that we're in really, really good shape going into the season, that it feels the same as what it is at Clark. So the stuff at Clark's unbelievable. So if the stuff at Commonwealth's the same, we're going to be in great shape.
Okay. Chris Morris joins us, president of the Green and Gold. And Chris, you've talked a lot. Now, my understanding is, like, you've actually hosted some business people at, different events, brought in the people, because kind of put your money where your mouth is. You said, hey, I want to speak, to get the business community, to get our season ticket holders, and say, okay, what's your concerns? We can't, if somebody has a concern about one thing, like, not every concern is going to get answered. And frankly, not every concern is legit. But there's lots of people that I seem that want to get back and kind of help the Elks. They're like, okay, you know what? We see under the, the new ownership group that, and Chris Morris and Ed Hervey, that we're kind of going back to how the team was run for many years before.
Yeah, and I think it's the investment in the community, right? I think the Thompson family, when they got here, they wanted to give this team everything it needed to do to serve the city of Edmonton. And, like, you should know, Jason, like, they're investing $12 to $15 million in doming Clark and creating a community center there. Our players are going to work with kids every day for between 3 and 6, and it's going to be free for those inner city kids. So this is all going to start rolling out very soon. Like, we've approached the government, we've approached the city. This is a full speed ahead project where this Clark Dome project is going to come to life, where literally our players will be there all off season long, working with kids, and the money we use for community service, we're going to build on, and we're going to have an after school program that's unheard of and unseen anywhere in the country. So this is like when you look at who's invested in the city of Edmonton, well, the Thompson family is, and they've decided to do this project to make sure that this revitalization of the Commonwealth neighborhood really takes place. So I think it's things like that people see, and they're like, these guys are for real. They really want not just the team to be successful, but they want Edmonton to be successful. And I think when you think about that message, and it's easy to get behind. And I think we got a lot of people coming now that want to be part of it.
So there's gonna be a dome at Clark Stadium.
Yeah, so we're in the feasibility studies part right now. That's all gone really, really well. We've got approval from city. Like, we're in really, really good shape here. Not just a dome, Jason, but we'll have we're going to have a high performance center with multiple levels that we're going to build a bunch of community assets around. So there's going to be a tutoring center. There's going to be somewhere for ELL for kids and families who need to integrate into our community. There's going to be all sorts of different support programs for families and for kids, and free programming after school every day for kids to come in and not just be involved with our football team. Our cheer team is going to be involved as well, and they're going to run a bunch of different things for the young women. And it's going to be a really strong model for building leadership and building capacity in the kids in that community. And Jason, that's how you rebuild a community. You start with the kids, you get them invested, then they want to stay there and live there and build further from there. So I think the Thompson family's vision for what to do there is incredible, and I'm really proud to be part of it.
So what's the timeline on this?
Yeah, so we're in feasibility studies now. We'd love to get the dome up this year. It could be tricky for this year, but I would say the latest it would be up would be next winter. And then I think all of it would come up pretty much at the same time. So we'd look at having the high performance center, which would be a brick and mortar piece, along with the services that would provide. We're in the middle right now. We're talking with the provincial government. We're talking, for federal government. We're looking for help. But Deb's honestly said it doesn't matter whether we get help. She's going to build this. And that's the incredible part to me, is that she's willing to invest in this project. Now, we will run it we'll run the rest of the time. We'll run like a business, and we'll have all of our camp system will run out of there, and we'll have a bunch of high performance training that goes out of there, and we'll find a way to make it financially viable so that it's not just like, well, in a few years people get tired of it. All of a sudden it's like, okay, how are we going to pay for this thing? It's going to be a business model, a self-sustaining model, but with that part where we're serving the community built into the business model.
So maybe as early as winter of 2027.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's outstanding news. It's a big opportunity, and that's something that kind of goes beyond just football.
Yeah, and that's what's different about this. And I always talk about the guys who were here when I got here, the Hugh Campbells, the Ron Lancasters, they were community minded at heart. They just believed in the city of Edmonton, and they would always talk about what to do. I think where Deb's vision is a little bit different is that she has the resources, and she grew up here and she's from here, and she strategically wants to put things in place to rebuild that community. And I don't think we've ever done that. I think in the past, we did it just because they were good guys in charge. And then when there weren't good guys in charge anymore, we kind of went into the tank a little bit until this recent rebirth. And I think right now where we are is a really, really good spot for our city and for how a football team can really integrate with the city and a community.
Yeah, I love it. That's fantastic. We'll take a quick break. More with the president of the Edmonton Elks, Chris Morris, here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all 7s. Go Auto, get in the game.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action. Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade, safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Welcome back to Nissan Head-to-Head. Rogas showing up with an unbelievable estimated highway range of up to 800 kilometers per tank. Some of the other guys are stepping up now with yet another fuel stop. Some wins are really obvious.
Qualifying owners can lease a Nissan Rogue for the equivalent of $99 weekly at 0% for 36 months, $430 monthly. Offer includes $1,100 Nissan bonus and 0.4% loyalty rate reduction. Conditions apply. Visit Nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Rent it, run it, get it serviced. Japa Equipment Rentals have you covered from the job to the shop to the job site. Alberta's construction pros have counted on Japa for rentals and service since 1972. JapaMachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.425, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you. Our special guest, Chris Morris, president of the Edmonton Elks, joins us in studio, of course, in year number 2 for him as the green and gold, looking to get back to the playoffs. There's a few little minor rule changes this year, Chris. More of the bigger ones come in next season, I think, with the field dimensions changing and the field goals and the uprights and everything like that. As a former player, what do you make of the 35-second clock?
Yeah, I don't mind the 35-second clock. I think, I'll be honest with you, this is a big evolution of the game. Okay, so I'll explain where the 35-second clock comes from. At one point in time, CFL benches used to be on opposite sides. So when CFL benches were on opposite sides, officials would always blow the clock in on a pretty consistent basis. The CFL decided to put both benches on one side of the field for several teams for financial reasons and advertising and all those different things. That made it really hard for the officials to see who's coming in and who's coming off. So instead of blowing it in on a consistent pace every down, sometimes it would be 10 seconds, sometimes it would be 40 seconds, because they couldn't figure out who was coming onto the field because the defense always gets to substitute last. So now by having a set 35-second clock and by putting the two benches on opposite sides, it's going to clean it all up.
Yeah.
And 35 seconds is pretty much the average of what we were doing to blow the clock in. And now we still have in the last 3 minutes of the game the same 20-second clock and the same rules we've always had. So the end of the game is going to be, and the end of the half is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
But it's going to be way more predictable when, in the middle of the game, which I think is good for everybody.
Yeah. I would agree. Like people were freaking out. Everybody hears a change. Oh my God, this is going to be awful. I'm like, I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. Your home opener is on the 20th of June. You guys start on the road, then you got a bye week again, similar to last season. I'm sure you crunched some numbers and things. Is this? How am I going to word this? When you're a younger team, I think an early bye is better. When you think you're a championship contending team, you probably want buys late in the year. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think you want your legs when you're late in the year. You want to be able to recover a little bit. You know, for me, Jason, I'll be honest. Like, just thank God it's not another Thursday night home opener.
Yeah,
I said to the league honestly. I had a heated discussion with them. I'm like, I can't market a Thursday night home opener. I go, our home opener should be one of the most marketable games we have.
Mm-hmm.
And for us to have, it was 2 years in a row. I think we had it on a Thursday night. So for us to get a Saturday afternoon at 2. Like I said to them, I go, we can get a great crowd on a Saturday afternoon at 2 in Edmonton for a home opener for us. And they accommodated for us. So I'm very hopeful that we can get some people in the stadium. This is a great young team. And I think we're going to put on a great show for them. So I'm hopeful that day is like the football season's back. People aren't trying to fight, take the kids to school the next day. How am I going to go on a Thursday night? Saturday afternoon, man, Commonwealth can be packed and it can be rocking.
Well, you look at it theoretically, I understand why, right? It's there's kids, I think, finish school the next week, so everybody's going to be at their wits' end. Just get them out of the house, let's go, right? And so they go to the game. It's exciting. School's over, and it is, a Saturday afternoon. It's 2:00. It's the perfect time for anyone. If you want to go out later on the night, you can. If you want to have your kids come to the game and it's not too late, right? Whereas a Thursday night doesn't necessarily do that in school, right? It's really hard to get your kids to go there. So that makes a ton of sense. How much of that will play into next season when the season starts earlier?
Yeah, I think there's a couple different concerns, right? So the hockey obviously is a concern because you're right in the middle of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And no matter what you do, you're going to be conflicting with some playoffs here. I expect the Oilers to go deep again next year. They got a lot of talent on that team. And then you start looking at school. Like the one thing we talked about even today was having like a day where, the kids from school somehow get to participate. And it's hard because, most people are working during the day, so they can't just take the day off to come and watch a game. But it's fun to watch these hockey teams run this hockey hooky thing where the kids come in and do that, right? So those are things we can look at and entertain, like the school trips, all those different things are things we can look at when the season starts a little bit earlier. So you just hope the weather is nice and it's nice and warm for those first few games. I think the biggest thing is you look 2 weeks ago and it was snowing, right? So you just hope you don't get that going on.
Yeah. And you know what? Hey, snowing, we've seen snow in August. We've seen snow in September and October, November, obviously. So, on the surface, it makes sense. Obviously, there's the questions about the draft. I think that's going to be a big one that's going to have to be looked at for sure. The other one for you is you look at kind of marketing different things throughout the year. This year, you're doing something you've never done before. And now, just to preface it, because it's not for everybody. It's not the whole stadium. It's only a few sections, but you can bring your dog to a game this coming year.
Yeah. July 17th, it's basically bring your dog to work day. So it's like, I think it's going to be a really fun event for people who love dogs and for everybody else just to sort of watch people with dogs. I know the Yankees do it. I think the Red Sox do it. And it really is. They pack their stadium. It's one of the hardest to get tickets for the year. So we're hoping Dog Days of Summer is a big success. We look to do something fun and inventive for our fans. And I think, our game day person, Karen, she did a great job of thinking this and bringing it up from what baseball does. And I think it's going to be a great success.
So that's the 17th. And that's obviously not the entire stadium. Maybe certain sections the first year just to see how it goes.
You'll be able to be dog free if you want to be. That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And then there'll be people with their dogs. And, we got to make sure people are bringing the right kind of dogs and all those sort of things. And
it's got to be friendly. I got to pass the test. Okay?
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. So it'll be a fun day. And I think there'll be a zoomy zone where you can take your dogs down close to the field and they'll be running around and doing stuff like that. Okay. And there's there'll be like the Simba cam where you hold your dog up and then we take videos of the dogs. And it's lots of photo ops and those sort of things. So for people who love dogs and love animals, it'll be a really fun afternoon.
Now I want you to put on your evaluator hat here for a second because you're a player for a long time. You're a coach for a long time. The offensive line. I've been to camp 2 days this year and the O-line is the one position to me that looks noticeably quicker and just more unified. There's the competition at center and there's some other competitions there, but it seems like the other four positions, you've got some proven veterans across. You actually got 8 guys on your O-line who have started games in the CFL last year, not in their career. I'm talking last year. So how do you make, what do you make of your O-line, a position that you know quite intimately?
Yeah, I'll take them over anybody in the league right now. I think it's a great group. I've watched them play. I've watched them all camp. I watched their scrimmage the other day. Even when the offense isn't doing really well, the offensive line is doing their job right now, which is, at times last year we had some struggles in those positions, right? So this year we've got some really strong people in that group. We've got, even our backups are very strong in that group. So, and to me, again, like, I just think you win at the line of scrimmage. Like, your offensive line and your defensive line are strong. It gives everybody else more time and space to do their thing, right? And I think if I look at our offense, I say, okay, we have a Grey Cup winning quarterback. We have one of the best backs in the league, if not the best back in the league. We've got several talented receivers. So if you give them a little bit of time and a little bit of space, they're going to make some good things happen. Then I look at our defense, and I love our defensive line as well. And I look at our linebackers who can both really run, and 2 or 3 guys deep we can really run. And then our secondary, I think our secondary is wildly athletic. They can all run. They can all cover. There's a few really violent kids in that group who I think, really like to hit people and get after things. So I'm excited to see what both sides of the ball can do. I love JC's philosophy on defense and watching him come into his own as a coordinator and the different pressure packages he has and the way he approaches calling defense. And it's just going to get better because he's just going to gain more and more confidence. So I know it's early, Jason, and I know people have heard this before, but I feel very confident about our roster. I think our roster and our coaching staff are strong, and I think they're going to put on a good show for everybody.
Obviously there's always pressure in pro sports to want to win. Right. And now there has to be realistic steps to take to get you to win and then remain there. Right. And I know that you've said that from day one, that you wanted to get players, you weren't going to be firing a coach every year or two. You wanted to build some continuity within the organization. Obviously there'll be some changes every year. There's some changes, but even in the organization, kind of off of the field, there's been some changes internally. And, some people who just didn't fit kind of your direction or they said it wasn't for them. And you said, maybe you're not for us. And away we go. How do you feel like the whole organization? Because to be a successful organization for this team right now, it has to be as much business as it has to be on the field.
Yeah. And I'm going to simplify this, and it's going to sound ridiculously simple, but I do believe in this. Like, when you go to an organization and you say, we're going to stand for integrity and we're going to stand for consistency, you look at some people and they're like, man, I want to be part of something like that. And you say that to other people and they look at you like, this is business. What are you talking about? And that is not accurate. And I'll tell you right now, you can look at the most successful businesses in the world and you can look at the last 100 years of business.
Yeah.
All of the top people talk about integrity. All the top people talk about consistency. But sometimes when you're in an organization that just has really, really struggled, those things they've never even been considered. And when you look at our football operation side and you look at what Ed puts the greatest emphasis on anything else, it's integrity and it's consistency. And you look at what I've brought to the business side and what I think is the most important thing possible is integrity and consistency. So for me, when I look at it and I say, how do you build any organization? You build it on that. And then when you have the right people and you get them in the right spots, and then they're there for a prolonged period of time because they're good people who want to work hard and want to serve other people and want to make sure that the organization is successful. And they're not just looking for the first opportunity to throw somebody else under the bus or gossip about somebody, then you're going to be successful. And I think we're in a really, really good spot. And I think we have a bunch of people now in our organization who believe in that. And there were some people, you're right. There were some people when I got there, when I said integrity, you could just tell they were like, frick, this guy, what does integrity have to do with us selling tickets? What does integrity have to do with us maintaining partnerships with corporate partners? And I can look you in the eye right now and say to you, it has everything to do with both. Everything to do with both. When a season ticket holder calls and they're really upset, and I talk to them personally, and I've done it hundreds of times since I've been there, those are things that resonate with people. When our partnership team reach out to people and they want to build a relationship with someone and they want to find a way, the first question they ask is, what can we do for you to help you with this? What can we do to make sure this is a great fit for you? As opposed to, well, you're talking with a pro sports team here. What can you do for us? Those are vastly different mindsets in how you approach things, right? And I think we're in a really, really good place right now in many, many areas as to how we approach not just business, but football and how to look after one another in the organization and how to build an organization. So I'm very confident with our messaging and where we are. Now it's just a matter of like, how do we put all these pieces together and start going together?
Chris Morris joins us, and that's obviously the key. And it part of it is reliant on wins, right? That's the the challenge of professional sports. Like now, if you run your organization very well, you'll get your ticket base, they'll stay and stuff. And, that will happen. There's no question. But there's that, the next level of fan who's like, oh, now I'm intrigued. All of a sudden, oh, geez, there's another win. Oh, there's another win. Now I want to go. And it's been a while since you've been able to attract fans strictly who want to see a winner, right? Some care about the team, but some just want to see a winner, which is totally fine.
And I'll tell you guys, that's what I want. I want to win. But I don't think you chase wins. I think you chase your process and your foundation. Because if you chase wins, I'll give you an example. So 2 years ago, it was 2 years ago now, I was at that 75th year dinner that they had. And there was a player on the team back then that I was in the room for maybe about 10 minutes. And I turned to one of my guys that used to play for me at U of A, and I was like, who in the freaking world is that? He was destroying the room, just like a complete idiot. And I remember the guy just saying to me, I don't know. He's just, he's supposed to be a really good player. We don't have people like that here. We don't bring people like that here. Did they win with that guy? You're never going to win with that guy. Yeah. And that guy might win you a game here or there, but that doesn't build a foundation for a team that's going to be able to win long term.
Yeah.
And you might even win. You might get lucky and win a championship one year, but you're not going to win long term with people like that in your organization. And that's the approach. That's the approach we have from head coach to general manager to president of the organization, is that we're not going to have people like that around, and we're going to build with good people. Now, Jason, they have to be good at football too.
Sure.
And we have to and winning is the ultimate, that's all we care about.
Yeah.
Once we get past building foundation, which is the paramount thing. Because if you don't have that solid, then you're in big trouble. And I think that's the departure. I think the team got into a position financially and in a million other ways where they were chasing wins. Like, let's bring in this guy. I don't care that he did this. Well, we're going to bring him in anyway. We're not doing that. And we never will do that as long as I'm here. But as long as Ed's here, I know he won't do it either. So I think I think we're very aligned that way. And I'll say this, like our owner feels very strongly the same way, that we need to bring the right people in for this community. So I think we have strong alignment.
And I know that it was not only bringing good players in, but you really want to encourage players to be here for more than just a football season.
Yeah, and that's where that Dome project comes in, right? Where you're running all this after school programming, and you have guys that are actually being paid to work with kids in the community, and as opposed to bringing in all these outside people and having them do it. You're building capacity in these young football players to serve as teachers and to serve as leaders and to serve as mentors for these young people. And those are the people that young people want to hear from. They don't want to hear from some broken down old 60-year-old man or something. You know what I mean? They want to hear from young people who they can relate to, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's that whole model. And that's the model we're trying to create there, where we're creating opportunities for them. Like we had like 15 guys from our team involved with like coaching and all those different things, like going down to Mexico with travel teams and coaching and coordinating like minor football stuff. Like that doesn't happen in a lot of markets. And that's we're just starting. We're just getting started, Jason, like with this Dome going up and being able to put all that sort of programming in. The exposure that the kids in our community are going to have to the guys in our team is going to be unprecedented. And to have a systematic approach to the way we're going to do that, I think it's remarkable, and again, hats off to my owner who sees the vision.
Yeah, that's it is fantastic. So once again, for any of our season ticket holders, go to your account to make sure that you redeem your ticket for the exhibition game at Clark.
You all have a credit. Any season ticket holder has a credit waiting for them in there.
Yeah. And so you want to use that credit if you want to, because not every season ticket holder, there's not enough seats at Clark.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of first come, first serve in that regard. And even if you've been a season ticket holder for 40 years, you don't necessarily get guaranteed entry, unfortunately, because there's only so many seats. It's kind of a unique experience. It's funny. All the first games I called in football were at Clark for the Huskies and the Wildcats, and just being that close, it's a phenomenal place to watch the game. It's just closer. It's very intimate, and like any facility, when it's sold out, it's just a better atmosphere.
Yeah,
right?
It feels awesome.
Yeah.
Like when you get 5,000 people in Clark, it feels like there's 40,000 in Commonwealth, right? So it'll be a fun night.
And I should also mention that Coach Killam did inform me that for both preseason games, every player is going to play a little bit. Yeah. And he talked about, because last year, they went into they didn't play anybody, they just got destroyed. And it just feels like, now, obviously your starting quarterback isn't going to be playing a full quarter in both of the preseason games, most likely, but just something to get everybody prepared and want to go. And that's kind of different.
Yeah, I think it's different for, this team, this group of athletes. I think, I'll go back to when I played. We only brought about 8-year-old linemen to camp. So I played like maybe I got a quarter, 2 quarters off in the preseason, right?
Yeah, like you played a lot in the preseason.
Yeah. The league's changed, and I do think you need to gel a little, especially when you're young. You need to gel as a team, and I'm happy to hear Mark saying that. And I think Mark, obviously, it's his second year, and he sees now, okay, some of these young guys need to play a little bit together to see what we can do together, and at the same time, balance. Like we want to keep everybody healthy. We want to go into that initial. We want to go on the road to Ottawa intact, healthy, and feeling great about things, so we can take a good shot at that.
Chris, always good to catch up with you. Thanks so much for joining us in studio, and we look forward to a very successful season. Hopefully, the Elks get back to the playoffs, and hey, maybe even a home playoff game, which would be a welcome addition, I think, for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome. There's Chris Morrissey, president of the Green and Gold. Will return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Property services. You need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in-store. Overstock, scratch, and dent, and unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
I'm good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Nisku Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth double football coverage online, elksnation.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.448, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Very much appreciate it. Lots going on in the sporting world. We got a lot of text flying in. Hey, Gregor, I have to say, every time you have Chris Morris on, I get fired up. I was pretty down on the Elks a few years ago. I saw what they did last year, improved. Fully believe they'll be a playoff team this year. I haven't got my season tickets yet, but I will be buying a few walking games. And, hey, that's how it starts. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And it's odd, but, man, could the Elks, desperate's probably too strong of a word, but they could really benefit, Connor Halley, from an opening win in Ottawa for their season opener, right? You win, then you have a bye, right? It's a Saturday game. It's in Ottawa. It's 5:00 Edmonton time, so anybody can watch it. It's not too late. And then you'll have 2-week buildup of an undefeated team to have a home game on a Saturday afternoon in Edmonton. And that could be that's a big deal for a team, I think, that's just desperate to get some positivity going.
100%. And Gregor, I was talking to Carius about this morning on his show, and 3 of the first 4 games are on the road. But if you handle your business and you pick up a couple wins here, 3 out of 4 perhaps, all of a sudden getting back into that stretch where you have 2 straight home games, people are going to get out to these games. And the schedule makers did do the Elks a favor. I thought the past couple of years, I thought the Sunday games were tough. The Thursday night home openers were tough. But this year, you have the one Thursday, then it's Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, perfect times to get out there, watch a football game. I know in my early 20s, that was the best. You go out there, you have a couple of drinks, watch the game, then you can go out after. Whether it's straight to the establishment, maybe OTR, or you're going for dinner beforehand. Those are the things that are great, and a winning product always gets you back out there. But I think that this year, the Elks have a lot of help from the schedule maker because these games are prime time viewing experiences. So I'm looking forward to this season, Gregor. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got high expectations for this team.
Well, and even the preseason game, you're making the most of it because of and people wonder why they're playing at Clark. Well, because they have the friendly for Team Canada. It's a World Cup. It's a pretty big deal. So you're going to have the friendly, and I think there's close to 40,000 tickets sold for that already. Although now, maybe it's changed, but when I was at the stadium last week, Cons, I took a peek in. There still wasn't any grass in. And it's May 19th. You get the grass put in that stadium soon for a friendly. So I'll be curious when they get that done. And then, obviously they put in for that game, and then they'll have a few weeks to put the turf in and be ready. And they got a Saturday afternoon home game. And you're right. They have the one game in July. School's over at least, right? To me, there's a big difference on a Thursday home game when school's out. Okay, kids can come. It's a little bit later, but they don't have school the next day, and that helps. But after that, it's all Fridays. and Saturdays and multiple Saturday afternoon games that people wanted, whether it's 2 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And they got to find a way to get a win in Ottawa. I just look at it. You could build a lot of hype leading up to your home opener for 2 weeks if your teams want to know.
100%. Get them out there, get the players out there on 1440 talking it up, and it would go a long way for sure. And yeah, and I agree with you too, Gregor. Like the Thursday game, maybe not ideal, but in the summer, why not? Why not kick off summer with a nice Elks game, 7 o'clock start time? You'll be home by 10 o'clock. It's all good.
Yeah. So the O-line looks way better. The D-line is very deep. The secondary just has a lot more experience, which will be big. There's lots of reasons to be excited. You know, the areas of questioning for me, and Declan will get you to chime in on this. I need to see it to believe it. Will the play calling be a little bit more aggressive? I think there is going to be at times where they just kind of, dip and dunk their way down the field. And sometimes that's called for. But they have to be willing to take a few shots.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. And they have personnel to do it now. They have guys like Zach Mathis, Ben Victor, who can go out there on high point deep balls. They got Austin Mack, who's a great deep threat and can go through the whole road tree. Like, they have the talent, a dynamic running back, wide receiver core, new slot backs coming in. Like, every single position you need to have to maximize talent to be able to go through the entire playbook and stretch the field, they have that now. So there's no excuses not to do it.
Yes. Well, do you think they can?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I look at the talent and personnel on this team, and I don't think there's any reason why they can't. Like, Cody, yeah, maybe he's a little limited throwing the ball downfield, but not everybody's going to be Zach Wilson at his pro day. Like, this is professional football against other opponents, right? So, no, I think they absolutely can do it. Personnel is there. Talent is there. The play calling, like, I understand first year with a new team for Max Simic, like, you can be a little bit nervous. You were obviously planned for Trey Ford, more of an option kind of offense, but it absolutely exists for them.
Yeah. Well, what about the play calling? Like, and it's funny because coming from BC, they were aggressive. Now, I know that you don't have the same quarterback here, but you've got a really good offensive line. You've got maybe the most dynamic running back in the league, or if not, he's close. And he's good. He's good catching the ball out of the backfield. He's good running the ball out of the backfield. And you don't need to have a dominant receiver, because I look around the league the last few years. There's lots of receivers that came out of nowhere, and this guy's 1,000, 1,200 yards. Where'd this guy come from? So obviously, there's lots of ability out there. Like, lots of these guys are good receivers, and you've watched the receivers closely at camp. What do you make of it? It's a week into camp. You watched Fan Day. You watched the scrimmage. Which receivers are you most interested to watch here?
I mean, Austin's definitely the best. Like, you watch Austin Mack and you understand that, this is why this guy had such a big Grey Cup and a big 23 season with Cody. Like, he does things a little bit sharper and a little bit quicker than everybody else. But when you go down the entire list of the guys who are working in on that first team unit, like Joe Robustelli, he looks like a guy who is just a possession guy, super sure with the ball. He can sit there on hitch routes and get you 8 yards when you need 8 yards. You look at a guy like Zach Mathis, maybe people talk about his skills, his size being a little bit underused, but he's a guy who has a great catch radius. Like, you can throw the ball anywhere and he's got those long arms. He's going to get it. Kayon as well, a lot of chemistry with Cody. So, like, all 5 wide receivers who you figure are going to be the starting 5 wide receivers are guys you trust. Like, I think the best attribute you can have for a wide receiver, for a slot back, because, like, yeah, can you score an 85-yard touchdown? That's great. Like, can you get on SportsCenter top 10? That's cool. Can you go and make us a play when it's 2nd and 11 and we need a first down right now, or when it's 3rd and 11 and we need a first down right now? I feel like all of these wide receivers have that now. Different attributes, like it's going to come in different ways. It's not one way for each guy, but each wide receiver you point to and say, yes, that is a guy we can go to when we have the game on the line. And I think that's another reason the playbook just gets so much more open up. You have this talent right there, and you have 5 guys who can do it 1 through 5.
Yeah, and even the playbook on the defense, I think.
Yeah,
they're going to be they were very passive early on. I think from a combination of the players to a combination of the experience or lack thereof of JC Sherritt at that time, and now I'm quite interested to just see how much more aggressive the D. We saw it in the second half of last year.
Yeah, you had guys who didn't want to tackle. I think JC was a little bit nervous. I don't think he was exactly playing to his defensive strengths. And like I said, you had guys who just didn't really want to be in there. You had a lot of guys underperforming. So, yeah, I mean, JC, he figured it out near the end of the season. Like, he is a brilliant defensive mind. Me and Eddie were talking about it on Elks Nation, like the fact he was able to win most outstanding defensive player essentially is like a 5'10 kind of undersized Mac linebacker, like speaks to how well you have to know the game. Obviously it's a little bit different when you're not the one out there actually, laying the body and you're in the pads, but to have a mind for the game, he's going to figure things out. He did figure it out in the second half of the season. And when you look at the returning cast of characters they had, like this is who, like JC's got his guys now. He might not have had his guys to start last season. That's why it didn't start as well as it should. Some guys underperformed. Like I said, he's got his guys now. He's got who he wants there. So I have no problems at all. I've nothing but faith in JC, Colin.
So there you have it. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we got Mark Spector will join us. I don't think there's really been a change in the coaching for the Oilers. Some other names that I'm hearing, so we'll get to those. Derek Van Diest, Cam Tate, and more. But first, we get to the Con Man on a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. The wait is over. Finally, 0% financing on all heavy-duty trucks, and you can get 0% financing on half tons. Right now, northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Changes in Vancouver as they fired head coach Adam Foote along with 3 of his assistants in one season behind the bench. Cannot finish with a league worst record of 25, 49, and 8. And the Vegas Golden Knights appealed to have their punishment reduced for breaking media access rules. It was denied by the NHL today. They will lose the second round pick. At the World Championship today, it was Austria over Latvia, 3-1. Norway blanked Italy 4-0. Great Britain falling to Hungary 5-0. And Slovakia gets past Slovenia 5-4. Canada's next action comes Thursday morning, taking on Norway. In the association Eastern Finals, Game 1, Knicks and Cavaliers from MSG tip-off at 6 o'clock. And in the majors, Toronto Blue Jays just about to get going in the Bronx, taking on the Yankees. First pitch 5:05. We'll join that one in progress here immediately following the Jason Gregor Show. Games in action right now. Braves have a 7-4 lead over the Marlins in the 9th. Orioles up on the Rays 1-0, and the Reds and Phillies are scoreless. Later tonight, Brewers in Chicago. Cards host the Pirates. Rangers taking on the Rockies. Got the Mariners and the White Sox, Dodgers, Padres, and the Diamondbacks hosting the Giants. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com, and we'll hear the latest edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been the Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
New at Papa John's. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all 7s. Go Auto, get in the game.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. If you're tired of slow, unreliable internet connections like I am, check out Starlink. It's fast, reliable, even in bad weather, and even works for 4K streaming for movie nights, online gaming, and more. Growing up on the farm in the sticks of central Alberta, we tried everything to get reliable internet, but we're always left with buffering video and half-loaded websites. There's nothing worse than losing your connection while streaming the big game. I'm getting mine set up soon and can't wait. If you're ready for better internet, order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-800-GO-STARLINK.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Tuesday afternoon continues on. How are you? Made it through another day after a long weekend. Hope it was good. Hope productive weekend. Good day. A few little changes. The NHL Coaches Association has voiced their displeasure with the Vegas Golden Knights and them not allowing Bruce Cassidy to interview for vacant jobs in Edmonton, LA. Toronto's yet to ask for permission from what we understand, but we'll see if that changes or not. Right now, Vegas hasn't done anything illegal. It's within their rights. A lot of it depends on the wording of the contract. Seems to be. I know we've got a lot of people texting, well, couldn't Cassidy just say, I quit, I'm done? Again, it depends on the wording of the contract is what I was told. So unless you see the contract, I can't say accurately if he can or he can't. It'll depend on how the contract is worded. And if he doesn't get this, and let's say he misses this hiring window, I would guess that some coaches in the future will have different wording in their contracts to ensure that when they are relieved of their duties, essentially fired, that if another team asks for permission, the team who fired them will have to grant it. Something you could put in there and away you go. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. That's where you can text us, give us a call. We get... The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And you can check out the Jason Gregor Show daily specials while you're there. So good luck. Now, let's get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, underground infrastructure specialists, and they're looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, operators. Go to gsconstruction.ca and look up careers. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
So, like, when I'm done this with 1440, you're just going to make me stay around and you'll never let me work for somebody else? Is that how that works?
No, I wouldn't. We couldn't afford to pay you to not work, right?
Yeah, right. I guess that's part of it, eh?
It's a luxury to be in when you can say, you know what, we're just going to pay this guy $4.5 million to do nothing.
Yeah, that's the kind of job I've been looking for a long time. I haven't found it yet.
Oh God, yeah, like it is. It's unique. I understand the NHL Coaches Association putting out the release spec, but man, I don't. Vegas is definitely not going to worry about the pressure of this. But I also there's no rush because the season's over. Like playoffs, you don't get your salary. Everybody gets it paid in the regular season. My understanding is the coach to do the same. Some, I guess, it depends on how they have their spread out. But I could see Vegas all of a sudden it's June 20th spec. Hey, you know what? We're going to grant permission now if anybody wants to. Bruce, if you want to go get interviewed, you can. By then, the hiring window will be closed.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when you buy a player out, they're free to do what they want, right? And that's just in the CBA.
Yeah.
Any player that gets bought out, they get 2/3 of their money over twice as long a time, and they can go do what they want, and you still have to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches, I think the NHL Coaches Association has, for sure, they're taking notes here.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you they're powerless, but they're a fairly small entity in the big world of the CBA. But I think they're taking notes here, and the Coaches Association, what they do have is unanimity among their people. Like all the coaches or whatever's good for one of us is good for all of us here. So I think you made the point. Contract's going to change here. This to me will likely be the very last time something like this happens.
Oh yeah.
If you're a first-year coach and you're getting your first job out of the minors, maybe you got no hammer. If you're Bruce Cassidy, P. Laviolette, Craig Berube, you got you have the hammer. You sign, you put it in your contract, and the team says, sure, whatever you say.
Yeah. Now you mentioned some names there, like the Oilers. Like the Oilers aren't in a rush. Spec. That's the one thing that they don't have to rush to get this coach hired. Unless the guy they really like is interviewing for other jobs. That's really the only concern here. I don't think them in Vancouver in the same aisle shopping for coaches right now. I think Vancouver's in the Manny Malhotra aisle for sure. They're looking at a younger coach who's good with young players and can be patient and rebuild, where Edmonton's looking for a coach that can maybe help put a team over the top and hold players accountable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Bruce Cassidy would fit into that category, but right now he's unavailable. So there's Peter Laviolette, there's Craig Berube, there's Dan Miles, and then there's a host of other active assistant coaches, right, who have currently in the league, who have a head coaching experience, right? Claude Julien, Dave Lowry, Dave Haxtell, Dean Evison, Derek Lalonde, Joe Sacco, John Stevens, Todd Nelson, for instance, like Jay Woodcroft. There's lots of them. Are there any, I think the Oilers, I kind of found it funny. People are mad that they're going to interview Craig Berube. I'm like, why? The guy won a cup and not that long ago. And the more people you interview, I think you can learn more about your organization. And just because you're going to interview lots of guys, you're only going to hire one. So why are you getting upset about interviewing Craig Berube? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, no, there's no reason to get upset about an interview. And you name a guy like Bruce Boudreau, right? There's a guy who's coached a lot of good teams over the years, and he'd bring something interesting to your table for sure. I would want to talk to him. Don't start getting excited, folks, till they hire somebody. And if you don't like the guy they hire, then your voice can be heard. But an interview is nothing. I mean, an interview is nothing. It's just due diligence. And let's say they're waiting around for this Cassidy saga to end. What's Bowman supposed to do? Just sit in his hands? He might as well be interviewing guys, getting a little bit smarter, getting some opinions on his organization. It's really going to, Jay, it's really what's going to, the thing that will drive this thing from an owner's perspective is maybe you got 2 or 3 guys that you like. If they start getting snapped up, now you start to wonder, am I going to get Cassidy? Like if I wait for Cassidy, will I get him? What if I don't get him? Now what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, well, hey, if you don't get him, you're going to have to look at someone else, right? Peter Laviolette, Craig Berube, or where do you come out on?
What if they're gone? They're gone.
Sure. Where do you come out on? Do they have to hire a coach who had previous NHL experience? Does that matter to you?
Yes. Yeah. Tons. Yeah. I need a coach here that has operated at the highest level, that has lots of experience. They've had 2 first-year coaches, head coaches in the National Hockey League in a row, Woodcroft and Knobloch. They fired them both for whatever their reasons are. They need an experienced guy in here. The McDavid window is now very short. There's no time for some guy to learn on the job, man. They need a guy that knows what he's doing and walks in the door and has a plan and has the respect of the top guys on this team, because those guys are going to need to get coached a little bit here. And it's going to take the right voice for them to listen to, I would think. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. No question about it. I look at the Oilers, and like I don't think there's one magical coach who's going to just coach comes in and everything is going to be great. And I wrote the article today. Whoever the next head coach of the Oilers is, Spec, it doesn't matter. They're going to start well because their roster's pretty good, and this team has started well under every previous new coach. They come in, they're like, okay, we got to impress the new coach, and now we're pissed off. We didn't play as well as we wanted to in the last regular season, yada, 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 yada. But then it comes down to, the whole season, and does it last longer than 1 year? And what happens the first time there's a little bit of adversity? Is the organization that's wound incredibly tight with lots of pressure, are they able to exhale? Are they just going to get tighter and tighter and tighter? And that's honestly the question here, Spec, for me. There's not just one coach and one assistant coach that, this guy's the perfect guy. So it's going to be, I think they need the personality of somebody who can somehow find a way when the team inevitably wants to crank up their own internal pressure, that he can just say, hey, relax. Because I think that's an issue in the organization.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm not sure we get rid of that at the very end of the McDavid window. They don't have a cup yet.
Yeah.
Connor could be 12 months from being on the trade block. The owner is very involved here this summer. Like all the word in the street is, and I've been saying it since the start, Daryl Cates has turned his eye on this hockey team here, man, and he wants results, and he wants them now. So, good luck with alleviating the pressure and everybody having a laugh and a joke around here. I'm not so sure this is the year for that, but I agree with you. I think, and this boils down to the players. I mean, talk about having a laugh. Connor McDavid's got to have a laugh once in a while. It's okay to smile in November, right? It's okay in December to enjoy something once in a while and have a laugh here. Like the big games are coming down the road. We can all get serious starting in, February and March. I think we don't need to be that way in October. So I'm agreeing with you, but I'm not sure that a coach is going to walk in the door and lift that cloud of expectation. It's a pretty heavy expectation on a pretty short timeline that's left around here.
Yeah, and that can be counterproductive, right? Like they got to find a way.
Yep.
We all know they want to win. Everybody knows that. Like no one listening here is like, oh, geez, they don't really want to win. Of course they want to win, but there's no guaranteed path to winning. So you need a process to be like, okay. And if their plan is, well, we only have 1 year to win, you're probably going to fail, because the odds of saying we're going to win in the next year, like if you say the next 5 years, even then, like your odds at least are a little bit better. It spreads out. Maybe you get the wrong injury, or maybe you get the right health at the right time. So like, look at right now, Colorado's had an unbelievable year. They dominate. All of a sudden, Cale Makar's hurt. And if Cale Makar, if his injury, which, it looked like it's a shoulder injury, and then Foligno hit him in game 1, and he seemed to be a little off. You don't think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to hit him clean? Like the Foligno hit wasn't a dirty hit, Spec. I don't know if you saw it or not. If you remember it in game 1, it wasn't dirty, but so you got to try to figure out how can we have it so we have sustained success. And maybe you can't because you have the threat of McDavid leaving hanging over you. And I'm just not sure you can make the best decisions as an organization when that's hanging over top of you.
Well, I mean, I get it, man. Like I'd say to you, Jay, 5 years ago, they said we got 5 years to win a cup, and they didn't win it in the first 4. So now we're in year 5. Like, it's not anyone's fault. You know, they've had tons of success. They've been to 2 cups. They're, you know, if they won 3 more games, they'd have 2 cups, right? So it's not like they've been far away. But here we are. You know, there's no one can control this. Here we are. We're 2 years left on McDavid's contract. We're going to start talking about it after one of those years, and they haven't won a cup yet. And it's a shame. And they're not done yet. You know, this team to me can be a legitimate cup contender next year. But, you know, it's undeniable that the window, if it's not coming to an end, it's coming to a change. And there's going to be some change around here. There's some stuff happening, man. Some windows are closing, and that's just the way it is. The Vancouver Canucks built and built and built. How long were they good for? Like a long time.
Yeah.
They got one shot at the cup in 11. They went to game 7. They lost, and we never heard from them again. You know, so, you know, you don't get to write the script, man. You know, I wish for the Oilers' sake, if they'd won one of those 2 series, we'd be having a completely different conversation right now. The pressure would be completely alleviated.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't. So I'm not sure we can dodge this pressure.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure we can dodge this pressure.
I'm not saying they can dodge it, but you have to try to manage it so it doesn't overwhelm you. And I think at times, like, all I do is, like, I think they panicked. Right? You can't make more panic moves. The panic move last year was the Jari trade. It's a panic move. Now, the thing is, Jari can play better next year, and the trade can look okay then. But it looked like a panic move right now. If you would have acquired Tristan Jari just straight up for Stu Skinner, you'd be like, all right, away we go. We don't need any salary. But then you added in all the other pieces, and you're just, now I know they couldn't have done it because of cap-wise, but whatever. So the point being that, you know, if that's the move you had to make, then don't make the move. Right? Wait, exhale, find another move. If Pittsburgh's that desperate, then they'll retain salary, right? And so this summer, Stan Bowman cannot have desperate moves. Just can't do it.
Well, the front office has to perform.
Yeah.
You know, the front office has to perform. Like, the front office performed reasonably well in the years leading up to their cup wins, or their cup appearances, excuse me. And they furnished the players with a team that got to the cup and was good enough to win 3 and 2 games in the cup. I personally think we have to not just blame the guys wearing suits that the Oilers lost those 2 series to Florida. It's not just Ken Holland and Bowman and Knobloch's fault, right?
Yes, 100%.
All those guys put a team together that won 3 rounds and competed in the 4th round, and the players never got the job done in the end. In the end, the players didn't win their battles when those defensemen pinched. In the end, the Oilers scored 1 4th-line goal in Game 7. In the end, they didn't get quite enough. When it counted, the players didn't have enough. So we always want to blame the management, right? I think the management hasn't done as bad a job as everyone says. Having said that, under Jackson and Bowman, this team has gotten worse every year. They went from 104 points to 101 points to 93 points. They're getting worse. Their star player said it to you. We're going backwards. So sure, you think you can win if your front office has a July 1st like this front office had the last 2 years? No. Think you can win if you make trades like the Jari trade ever again? No. They got to be good. The players have to be good. The management has to be better. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not afraid to say it, man. Bowman and Jackson got to pull their socks up if they think they're going to win something around here, because they have not been good enough at this point.
Yes. Very, very true. So outside of them looking spec, you make the Vancouver Canucks, and they got the new co-presidents, they got the new head coach, and now they got a whole new coaching staff. They're obviously going in full rebuild mode here. I'd heard from lots of people that are more on the inside in Vancouver that at times he looked overwhelmed as a coach and wasn't prepared. So I'm not surprised by this move at all. My question to you is, do you think Chris Knobloch lands in any of the 3 openings?
That's a good question. I think you got to talk to Chris Knobloch first. You know, I'm not sure if he's sure that he wants to go work right away. I don't know what his situation is. You know, I think he was taken aback by this thing a little bit in Edmonton. Would he be a perfect guy for a place like Vancouver? Oh my goodness, would he ever? Right? I think he'd be a perfect coach for a young team like that that's trying to figure things out. He's been around. some of the best players in the game. He's been around situations, teams that win 3 rounds and go to the cup final. He brings a lot. So absolutely, Toronto's different, Jay, because Toronto thinks they're going to act like they're a contender and they're not. I don't think I want that job in Toronto. You're going to walk in the door in Toronto and they're going to go make the playoffs and have success. And you're going to look at your roster and go, with this roster, are you kidding me? So I don't like that job much. But Vancouver, there's no pressure to make the playoffs and there shouldn't be. It's a teaching gig and they could sure use his experience there. I think Chris Knobloch would be an excellent candidate and they should interview him in Vancouver for sure.
Yeah. I think Manny Malhotra is going to get that job. I think everything is saying that they want
Sounds
to go
like it.
with guys they know. And I understand that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. He'll know they're young players. They got to be alternation. I'll be interested to see, Toronto or LA if, and like you said, like sometimes, hey, maybe you want a break. We'll see. So now Chris is a young coach, so something tells me he might be like, yeah, I need a break for a few weeks. Let's get back in it. And so I think if LA or Toronto came calling for an interview, he would at least want to be interviewed by them.
Yeah, I mean, even LA, like where's LA in their arc, Jason? If Edmonton's nearing the end of their window but still good, and Vegas is probably about the same, and San Jose's on the way up, and Anaheim's on the way up, where's LA?
Well, I think LA, their arc was never as high. They didn't reach as high of a peak in their arc. Their arc was smaller spec. I think the Panarin thing, they're trying to bring it back up, right? One final time to push the rock. But you got to remember, their arc was a lot lower, so it's easier to push it to get to that level than have to push it all the way to get to the final round level of the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, like that's a team that's never won a round here.
Yeah, I know.
In this
Since
edition,
2014, yes.
in this edition.
Yeah.
So, and they've got, they're not a young team, and I don't know. I'd like to know what their roadmap is, and it's like the Leafs. The Leafs are getting passed by like crazy, and Keith Pelley walks in and says, "We're going to be good." And I'm like, "Well, good luck to you, man." I'm not sure how that's going to work out when you got to play Montreal 4 times next year, and Ottawa, and Buffalo, and Tampa, and Florida. Like, I guess I got to see it to believe it, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Very true. Spec, have yourself an awesome one. We will. We'll chat. We'll talk about the Western Conference and Eastern Conference tomorrow on the show. Have a great day.
Sounds good, man.
There you go. That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Quick break. DVD joins us next on The Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, and X, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes, there's one waiting for you. Whether you're upgrading or just getting started. And while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Bricks Tent Sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
This is you.
Hi.
And your cornhole team needs money.
Yeah, we do need money.
Plus, you've tried every fundraiser under the sun.
No kidding. And no one's buying my Cuban salted chocolate.
Scrap the chocolate and fundraise for your team, club, or charity at On the Rocks. Here's the deal. We'll create custom tickets for your event, which includes no cover, no line, and beverage before 10 p.m. Then you sell your tickets and keep all the profits.
That sounds easy.
It is. Fundraisers at On the Rocks. Book, party, cash. OnTheRocksYEG.com.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hello, welcome back as you make your way home. Enjoy your drive home on a Tuesday afternoon. Thank you, as always, for joining us. It's the Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And big news in baseball. Now, this is big news, Connor. Dylan Cease, who really trimmed his mustache. Not sure I'm loving it. It's kind of, maybe he's lost the power of the stash. But it looks like he trimmed it up a little bit too much, eh? Is it just me or what?
Still pretty impressive, though.
It's still pretty, but but it's like almost half the size. It just shows you how big it was. So we'll have to see. If he doesn't have a great outing tonight, it's clearly due to the reduced mustache. It's obvious. Couldn't be anything else, Cons. It would have to only be that.
From what we know about baseball players, he might never shave it again.
Yeah.
If he doesn't perform.
If he doesn't, yeah. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by GoAuto.ca. Hey, best place if you're looking for vehicles. They have over 15,000 to choose from. But also, they are outstanding at giving back and being part of the community. Over $27 million. Donate to local charities, giving back in their community. That's GoAuto.ca. If you're looking for a ride, they got their heart in the right place. As we are joined by Derek Van Diest from NHL.com and DVD, no shortage of stories around the NHL. I actually had a lot of people. Geez, I didn't even know there was an NHL Coach Association. Obviously there is, but I get the statement. I understand it makes all the sense. I don't really think it's going to do anything, though. Do you?
No, I don't, because I think, basically, Bruce Cassidy is still under contract with the Vegas Golden Knights, so they still owe him. I think it's $4.5 million next year. So it'll be interesting to see what the situation is, and it's one of those things like you let go of your coach, you're still paying him, and you want to pay him to be coaching for your rival team, and I think that's a situation that obviously the Golden Knights don't want to occur. So I'm sure there'll be some sort of arrangement or settlement or something figured out here. But if that's what the Oilers want, if that's who the Oilers want, then I'm sure they'll find a way to figure it out. But yeah, this is kind of unique where you let a guy go and then suddenly you're saying, no, you can't go get a job somewhere else. So obviously the Coach Association feels a certain way, but I don't know unless Bruce Cassidy says, gets out of that contract and says, okay, you don't owe me the money. I think his hands are tied a little bit here.
Yeah. And, we had some people saying, well, the Oilers could just give them their second rounder that they lost from the NHL. And I'm like, I don't really think the Edmonton Oilers want to do that at this. Like, it's a pretty significant punishment. And so far, I like the NHL's response that they weren't going to rescind it. Because to me, I just don't flex that you're going to actually punish bad behavior and then walk it back.
Yeah, no, I actually thought they might give it back on appeal. I thought that they gave him that appeal process.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they wanted to know, they wanted to hear what they had to say. I thought maybe that was kind of a carrot out there saying, listen, we're taking your second rounder. We need to talk to you. We need you guys to get your ship in order here, and we'll give back to you. But I guess I was wrong. I guess they stood firm, and it kind of sends a signal to the rest of the league, doesn't it? It just says, hey, man, we're not messing around here. We have partners, we have broadcast partners, we have media partners, and there's obligations, and you as a coach and as an organization have a duty to fulfill them. And this wasn't just for walking out on the press conference. I think this was something that was building, and they'd been warned before, and they'd been talked about before. And I think basically it wasn't a one strike you're out. I think there was a couple of warnings before this punishment came down. So it's a big fine. It's a big loss, a second round pick, but we'll see going forward. I'm going back to Vegas this weekend to catch up on games 3 and 4 and then pick up the series from there. So we'll see what goes on. But now the league's kind of taken over the conference final. So it's all about the league now, and it's not necessarily the individual media representatives that kind of run things. Now the league has taken over at this stage of the game.
Derek Van Diest joins us. DVD, so you look at the Oilers, and where do you think they weigh out okay, let's be patient and see if we can solve something here with Cassidy, or do we have to go get our coach in the next few weeks? What do you think they do?
Well, I think they have to be patient. They're stuck now, aren't they? They kind of made that bed now, and then now they're going to have to line it. If Cassidy's the guy they want, then they're going to have to wait him out. If not, then you're going for your second choice, and is your second choice better than the guy you just let go, or you're going to have to pay $7.5 million for the next 3 years? It just seems like they kind of took steps backwards here, and it seems they're a bit of a. I think if you go and hire someone just to hire someone, I think that just compounds the problem. And I know that the coaches are going to start getting hired, and there's going to be the list is going to grow less and less and less. But I just think if you had a game plan, I think you got to stick to it, and you go with it, and hope it comes to fruition. But I think when you start panicking and making, plan Bs and plan Cs and plan Ds and things like that, that's when you're really going to get yourself in trouble. And it was obviously, there's a big summer for Stan Bowman and Jeff Jackson, and it didn't get off to a good start, and you don't compound it by making another mistake. So I think they're forced. If that's the guy they want, they're forced to be patient with it.
Yeah, well, we'll kind of see where that comes out. In the meantime, they've got some other. It's not just like a coach, right? And then, although, do you believe they can re-sign their existing UFAs, or do they have to have a coach in place to notice if he wants those guys? Where do you come out on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you have to, because I don't think you can afford to let some of those guys walk. And like they have a lot of UFAs, and they gave up assets to get to some of them, thinking that they were going to re-sign them. So I think the guys that you want to re-sign, if you want the Dickinsons and the Murphys and those guys, you have to resign. And I think then you bring your coach and say, okay, here's your team. This is your team. I know you probably want input from the coach, but I really do believe that you can't risk not resigning those guys and they leave it on you. And so I think, we talked about compounding issues. I think they wanted to have coach in place. They don't have a coach in place. The guy that they want to have in place isn't allowed to talk to you. And now there's just a lot of things going on right now. So I do think that, those guys, they brought him in for a reason. It wasn't just to be here for half a season. I think they wanted to be part of the group. And then I think they have to make them part of the group. They have to re-sign those guys.
Yeah. No, I think I look at like Murphy for sure. I think they'd love to re-sign Dickinson. I wonder if he says, man, I got to at least owe it to myself to test the free agent market. Not because I don't like Edmonton, but because somebody might offer me $5.5 million. Like, honestly, there's very few centers available, and there's lots of teams. Now, I don't think Jason Dickinson's a second line center, right? He's a third line center. Like, people will look at the 22 goal season, but I'm like, that would be kind of foolish because that was a complete outlier. He's never come close offensively to that. Every other season, 6, 9, 7, 5, 9, 7, 6, right? Like that's what he's been. So like him scoring now, he scored 2 goals in 4 playoff games for the Oilers, which is amazing. But prior to that, he had 5 in his first 40, right? Like he's not an offensive center. So I don't think someone should sign him, but it's the NHL free agency, man. It only takes one. And when there's a shortage of centers, like I'll see. I'm very curious to see what happens with Dickinson.
Yeah, no, it's a good point there, Jason. And there's always one that people are always getting overpaid on free agency day. So yeah, maybe depends what kind of offer the Oilers give him. Jason Dickinson goes, hey, I might be able to get more on an open market because you're right. He's got a certain skill set. He's a defensive checking center, and then the Oilers need that. And I'm sure other teams would want that as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right there. I agree with you that maybe he does test the free agent market. That means that the Oilers are going to have to give him an offer that he can't refuse, essentially.
Yeah. No, it's very true. Well, I don't know but they can't afford that. Like this has to be the summer of good decisions by management, right? Like this can't. Now, not every decision is going to be great, but they can't have blatantly bad decisions, right? Just make good decisions. That doesn't mean that you're going to, sign the greatest free agent crop. It just means you're going to make good decisions that don't hamper your team.
No, I agree with you. The summer hasn't gone off to a good start. So they're going to have to kind of repair the damage done already. But you're absolutely right. Like, I think Stan Bowman, the writing's on the wall. If he has a bad summer, then I don't know if he's back next year with the Edmonton Oilers. There's so much on the line here. Like, you're looking at the clock is ticking with Connor McDavid, and you have to put this team together. Now your backs are really against the wall to try and put them together. So, and you have to get that team done, and you have to build it now, and you don't have a lot of assets to go and get other parts. So, it's going to be a really, really interesting summer here in Edmonton, and see if Bowman and Jeff Jackson can put together a winning team.
DVD, it should be a fun next month. I really believe the Oilers probably have a month. I don't feel that you have to rush into this at all for the Oilers. So I don't think like, hey, Bruce Cassidy becomes available suddenly by June 1st, and maybe it's different. But if nothing, I think now they're just going to take their time and interview people. And Bowman and Jackson, I'm assuming, are going to be the 2 ultimate decision makers in this. I've talked to other people about. They said at the end of the day, that the new head coach is the GM's decision. Like assistant GMs and other guys can have say, and they sit in on meetings sometimes, but ultimately it comes down to the GM. And I'm guessing maybe with some input from Jackson. We'll see. What my last one for you is, what's your sense of what happens to Paul Coffey? Does he move up in the organization this offseason?
Well, I think what happens is whatever Paul Coffey wants to happen. I think if he wants to take on like a management role, or like he's already the what's his official title? I think he's like advisor to the owner or something like that.
Yeah,
his official title. So if he wants a bigger role on this team, he'll have it. But I'm not sure what kind of role Paul Coffey wants with this team. Like, I've talked to Paul Coffey quite a lot, and he is loyal to Daryl Cates. He's come back because he wanted. Daryl Cates essentially asked him to come back, so he's loyal to him. But yeah, what kind of, does he want to be the decision maker guy? Does he want to be out there, or does he just want to advise? And I think it'll totally be up to Paul Coffey. I don't think he's coming back behind the bench. I think he reluctantly took that job. and then he reluctantly came back. I just don't think he likes the everyday grind of an assistant coach. It's a tough grind. But it'll be interesting to see where the discussions are, and what kind of role will he play? Like, he be like, they already have a president, they already have a GM, so they're going to have to kind of find something there other than that for him. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think it's all in Paul Coffey's hands. He financially he's set. He said he didn't need the money, so it's whatever he wants to do and how he wants to kind of help out Daryl Cates in what capacity.
DVD, we'll talk to you next week, buddy. Have a great day.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
It's Eric Van Dies from NHL.com. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up with Cam Tate on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world.
All right, folks,
live in
let's dive
Vancouver,
in.
With tickets,
It's time for another 2-minute warning. And if you're not buckled up,
just text
only through 2 innings. And we'll have that game right here on Sports 1440 after the conclusion of our show. Picks it up in progress, so you get to hear a lot of it. Awesome. Now, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We've had a lot of texts, and one of the same questions that we get asked by many people, and I understand why they're asking is, could the Mr. Cassidy just get out of his contract? Again, I was told it all depends on the wording of the contract. Well, there's two things. A, the wording of the contract. Now, he makes it's a rumored at $4.5 million. Would the Oilers pay him $4.5 million? Knobloch was under 3. Now, he hadn't won fair, hadn't been an NHL head coach before. So, maybe that's the going rate. But, obviously, I guess, hey, money probably is not an option right now for Mr. Cates. Wants his coach, he'll get it, but we'll see. If he could get out of the contract, now maybe he could, but he's waiting to say, hey, let's see, because what if he interviews for the jobs and he doesn't get it, right? What about that? So, now it might seem like far-fetched at this point, but you never know. So that's not a guarantee, and then you've opted out, now you don't have a job. So it is a little bit of a risk, because now, could he talk to somebody? Yes. That's the whole thing. Everyone's like, well, Gregor, what's stopping them from interviewing him? Like, how can they know? Are they monitoring his phone calls? It's a very good question. You pass your wife's cell phone, here, I'm going to call him on this number. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you really, truly would enforce that. How could you do it? Honestly. So, could you have a phone call first? Hey, yeah, okay. Okay, good. Now I'm going to opt out. I would think you could, just looking at it rationally. We'll see where it goes. Now let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca.
All right, folks, let's dive in. It's time for another 2-minute warning. And if you're not buckled up, well, that's on you. Let me take you back to my early days in the newsroom. Editors with their sleeves rolled up like they're about to arm wrestle a grizzly bear, ties hanging loose like they've just survived a tornado, and one guy, let's call him Hot Dog Harry, strolling in after his daily lunch of 2 hot dogs and 8 draft beers. 8. And what did these newsroom warriors teach me? Listen. Listen to what people are talking about. If it's hot, you drop everything. No hot dogs, no beers, and you get back to the office to write the story. So, what's the buzz today? Glad you asked. Gregor had a great go-round in the 4 o'clock hour. He chatted with Edmonton Elks president and CEO, Chris Morris. Loved the after-school program discussion from the Elks. Then there was Paul Sir, or is it Sir Paul? Sorry, Paul. Basketball talk, naturally. Terry Ryan dropped in, Dave McCarthy had his say, and Mark Spector? Well, Spec, I'm still waiting for that call to help you with the boat pier. I mean, I've got the upper body strength of a garden gnome, but I'd still show up. But the big question? The one that's got everyone from Gregor to Low Tide and Carius buzzing like a mosquito in your ear, who will be the next Edmonton Oilers coach? We just wrapped up a 2-minute warning staff meeting. Yes, we actually have those. And the unanimous vote was to dive headfirst into this coaching chaos. Young Kruger, you writing this down? Coaching candidates. Every day. Coaching candidates. Know what I'm saying? Coaching candidates. Until the announcement. Here's the deal. We're kicking off the madness tomorrow. Got a suggestion? Email me at cam@sports1440.ca. Send me your wildest picks, your dark horses, and your "are you kidding me" ideas. 2-minute warning. You've got Gregor, Hallie producing. Kruger gives himself a headache playing X's and O's. This is Cam Tate. And remember, no hot dogs or beers until the story's written. Oh yeah, Sports 1440.
And here is a classic. So the GM of Vegas spoke today, and his response, quote, teams have asked for permission to speak with Bruce Cassidy, but their focus has been on the playoffs. He said he spoke to Bruce and he understands that. It's not a lie, George, if you believe it. That's a classic. Right? I love it. They're focused on the playoffs. Dude, the guy's not part of your team anymore. Right? I love it. But honestly, no one plays the villain better than the Vegas Golden Knights. Right? Fair to say, Cons, in the NHL?
100%. It's to the point, Gregor, like whenever we talk about a player who could be on the move, where could he go? I just say Vegas. Like, they'll find a way. They'll make it work. They'll move some money around, trade someone if they have to. Who cares about draft picks? The Vegas Golden Knights will find a way. They'll tick you off as they do it as well.
Yeah. Like they do it, man. Like there's no denying it. You cannot deny that they play the villain that good. Like, you just can't. Like, imagine saying that and believing it.
You have time to make that statement. You have time to give him permission.
Yeah. Now, at the same time, McCrimmon did say something very truthful and honest that was accurate. We're talking about, their decision as an organization after the game. And he said, quote, "We missed a great opportunity that night to connect with our fans and celebrate the playoff series victory." Bang. 100% true. Right? It's right. How they acted there, not opening the room, Tortorella not coaching, it wasn't smart. It wasn't. So at least that part, 100%. But man, I think of George Costanza. It's not a lie if you believe it. Oh. Right? Classic. Have yourselves a great Tuesday evening, everyone. Enjoy the Jays game coming up next. We got some hockey talk for you and a very interesting little non-hockey conversation for you tomorrow. Tune in. On behalf of Declan Kruger, Connor Halley, Terry Ryan, and everybody who's on the show, thanks for listening. As always, or watching on YouTube, be sure to you can go download the shows, watch them again on YouTube, get the archive anywhere where you get your podcasts, and of course, all interviews are jasongregor.com. Here's a Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Over 15,000 vehicles to choose from. Cars, vans, trucks, SUV, you name it. They got your color, your style. GoAuto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The Vancouver Canucks making moves today, firing head coach Adam Foote, along with 3 assistant coaches in his one season behind the bench. The Canucks finishing with a league worst record, 25-49-8, and the Vegas Golden Knights appeal to have their punishment reduced for breaking media access rules was denied by the NHL. They will lose their second-round pick in this year's draft. The loss of a second-round pick is the strictest punishment for breaking media access rules in league history. In the association playoffs, Eastern Conference Final, Game 1, Knicks and Cavaliers from MSG tip-off in about 10 minutes' time. Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays in action, scoreless against the Bronx Bombers in the bottom of the third. We'll join that game in